Sunday, the last day of March 2019, and you're very welcome to Blacktown International Sports Park and the Summer of Baseball, brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia. And this afternoon, 2 o'clock, it's game time. We're ready for the second grade grand final of State League Baseball New South Wales. And we're just about to get underway. Central Coast Marlins are in the field in defence, and batting in the top of this grand final innings is the Manly Eagles. We'll lead off with Trent Nicol, the lead-off hitter, and I will bring you very shortly the defensive lineup for the Central Coast Marlins. Marlins, of course, out there in those colours. Starting pitcher has completed his warm-ups, ready to go. Plate umpire is ready to go, just adding the final touches to home plate. The field is ready on what is a bright, sunshiny day here at Blacktown International Sports Park. And everybody in place. There's a good crowd in at the moment. And the defensive lineup for the Central Coast Marlins reads this way. In right field, it's Chase Kahn. At centre field, Mitchell Pearce. Left fielder is Reece Newbold. The shortstop, Dylan McMaster. The third baseman, Jack Stevenson. The second baseman is Daniel Rogers. At first base, it's Jack Day. And the starting battery for the Marlins is at catcher, Jake Phelps. And the starting pitcher is Kieran Johnston. There's your starting lineup for the Central Coast Marlins. We will review those very, very soon. And make sure that everybody who tunes in a little bit later will get them. First pitch goes through now for one ball from the starting pitcher, Kieran Johnston. And Kieran Johnston gets that going right away. And second pitch coming through for a strike now. So one ball and one strike to start this game off at the top of the first inning. And it's well located there by the starting pitcher, Johnston. Trent Nicol, as I said, leading off for the Manly Eagles, the designated hitter, position for him today in the batting lineup. Nicol takes that next pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 the count. Start of the game right on time at 2 o'clock this afternoon from Blacktown International Sports Park. Pleased that we can bring you the grand final series this weekend in State League Baseball New South Wales, fouled off directly behind home plate by Nicol. And in an unusual little bit of trivial information, if you like, the coach of the Central Coast Marlins, Sean Smith, used to coach in the Manly area, and he coached half of these players that are in the Manly lineup, but many, many years ago, about 10 years ago when they were under 16s. Or it might be 15 or 20 years ago now, come to think of it. So Trent Nicol was one of those players coached by Sean Smith long ago, so he taught him his trade. As Nicol drives one down the third base line, taken in the tip of the glove by the third baseman, Stevenson, and thrown out at first base. Great take from Jack Stevenson down the third base line in the hot corner for the Central Coast Marlins, and they throw a charging Trent Nicol out at first base with Jack Day finalising that out at first base. So a 5-3 play, I should say, gets the first out on Manly. And the Marlins have 1 out here, top of the first inning. And that brings to the plate for Manly the shortstop, Brad Zorn. Zorn leaves the first one for a ball. Zorn just looking that one through, and you can see the starting position of Kieran Johnston on the mound. He just stands about 45 degrees heading towards the third base dugout, if you like, where his lead foot is. And that gives him his comfortable starting position. So Zorn digs in again. Umpire calls play. And one into the zone. Zorn hits that right side. Will it fall fair? No, just foul into the bottom of the fence down the right field line. And the distance between the foul line and the right field line fence is fairly narrow, but probably around about 6 metres, I suppose, 5 or 6 metres. Maybe not even that, a bit less.
Where the bullpens come in, Harrow, only a couple of metres at the best between the foul line and the actual bullpen padding.
It is short there. It used to be a lot wider, but all of the bullpens were adjusted, fences adjusted. And other than that, outfielders used to do that. So I think it's 2 balls, 1 strike for the umpire. We'll just check. That one gets ripped to left field side this time. The opposite way for Zorn. He pulls that, the right-hander. Goes right field side with a long foul, then pulls it to the left side. There's pitch right in the zone where he liked it. So he gets a single away there to position 7 in left field side. Reece Newbold, the left fielder, retrieves that, gets it back in. So Manly with the first runner on base and the first hit of the game off the bat of Brad Zorn. Single to 7 brings Aidan Torpey to the plate, the third baseman for Manly. Torpey stepping in now, third batter in the lineup. And that one, first pitch outside, missing the zone wide, probably a little high as well for a ball. And you'll find that Manly are in the top of the order and the top of the innings as well. And they are therefore considered the away team for this game because even though they were the minor premiers, top of the table at the finish, they were not the first team to advance to the grand final after semi-finals. It was the Central Coast Marlins, in fact, that advanced to the grand final first. So they become the home team and get that advantage of batting in the bottom of the inning. We await this next pitch to Torpey now. Wide off the zone for a ball. This could be an out. It is an out at second base. Yes, it is. A sliding Brad Zorn straight into the tag. And that is an out now, the second out. And that's Brad Zorn thrown out on the throw over from 2 to 6. I think it was the shortstop. 2 to 4. It was Daniel Rogers.
Yeah, second base came in and made the tag. A good throw from catcher Phelps.
Thanks, Cam. And that's Phelps to Rogers at second base getting an out. And that was a ball for Aidan Torpey. Thrown out there for the throw over on a charging runner.
Yeah, second out of the dig, so 2 up, 2 down, even though not quite as conventional as the Marlins would like.
Correct. Torpey still at the plate now. 3 balls, 3 straight balls, no strikes on Torpey. Leaves that one alone for a strike on the outside edge of the plate. 3-1 count now. 3-1. Has to be a strike here off pitcher Johnston. Puts it into the zone, fouled off by Torpey, as you could see. So Torpey at the plate now. Good shot behind home plate there of Aidan Torpey. And there's that pitch fouled off again. We've got all those shots that we had yesterday, plus an extra one from the third base side. Now we'll look around towards second base in the right field side. And PMAC doing all the camera operating here as well and switching. Great work yesterday and even better work today. Full count pitch on Torpey. 3-2, here it comes. Fouls it off behind home plate.
Probably ball 4 if you could have laid off. It looked like it was high and inside, but couldn't lay off it. Count remains full.
Yeah, that swing was well underneath that pitch, so it may have been up high, as you suggest, Cam. No question about that at all. Still, I suppose, plate defence. We criticise players that don't take the swing just in case.
Well, if you leave it up to the umpire, then it's, all bets are off.
Yeah. Best to make the decision yourself in the batting box. 3-2 pitch, steps off. Ready to reset. 2 out here on Manly. 2 up, 2 down. Third batter in order. Aidan Torpey at the plate. Misses outside and low. So first walk of the game. We've had the first hit of the game, the first out of the game, and the first walk of the game. All in the first 3 batters. So Manly now with another runner on base. And stepping up now for his first appearance at the plate, Ashley Roberts, the first baseman for the Manly Eagles. Big season for these second grade teams from the Marlins club and from the Manly club. Both had big, very competitive seasons.
Well, Manly had a record of 11-1-2. 11 wins, 1 loss and 2 draws coming into the semi-final series, and then lost, as you say, that qualifying semi-final to the Central Coast Marlins, which put them into the grand final first.
Fouled off by Roberts. Yeah, so it's been a big season for Manly. Their resurgence, I'm told, is a few of the older heads, older guys in their 30s came back to play this year and decided to get together and organise themselves, and they've had a very, very good season. Of course, also been very good support for first grade.
And the Marlins, just by just comparisons, they were 8 wins and 5 losses on the regular season. So you can see the difference between the two teams. However, the Marlins were the first to qualify for this grand final, winning that qualification semi-final.
And on that win-loss record, the Marlins have done very well to achieve grand final status to get to the championship game.
Correct.
Ashley Roberts in there with a runner at first base. Can he move that runner around and keep the inning alive? We're about to find out. Just an honesty pick off at first base there. Making sure that Torpy stays back. Shorten the lead up a little bit for the runner at first. So good lead taken. Fouled off down the first base side again by Roberts.
You can see we're just having a quick look at the ladder there, Harrow, just to finish this off. You can see there was almost nothing between second, third and fourth and fifth on the ladders there in second grade.
Wow.
Manly were clear leaders, clear minor premiers, with a percentage of 857. But second place, Central Coast got into second place as we see a slow roller to third base.
Picked up again by Stevenson. Stephen across to his first baseman, Day. They get that out on the 5-3 again. So a fantastic bit of fielding there by Jack Stevenson, and Ashley Roberts becomes the third out in this top of the first innings on that 5-3 ground ball. They leave Aidan Torpy stranded at second base effectively, and that will be it for the top half of the first innings here in the second grade grand final of State League Baseball New South Wales. We'll be back after this short break. And welcome back to the bottom of the first inning here at Blacktown International Sports Park. Manly and Central Coast in the second grade grand final of State League Baseball, New South Wales. And Central Coast will lead off with a left-hander, Daniel Rogers, the second baseman as well. The lefty steps in and he will be facing the pitching of Adam Brown. The defensive lineup for the Manly Eagles reads this way. In right field, it's Gabriel Mateo. At centre field, Adam O'Neill. At left field, Yu Matsuo. The shortstop is Brad Zorn. At third base is held down by Aidan Torpy. The second baseman, Daniel Goodsell. At first base, Ashley Roberts. And the starting battery for the Manly Eagles at catcher, Brendan Haithwaite. And the starting pitcher, Adam Brown. In there for a strike. So Brown starts off with back-to-back strikes. 2 strikes. No balls on Daniel Rogers from Central Coast Marlins, the number 5, leading off. He'll be trying to get something established for the Marlins. And Brown has a long look in, throws one out wide, away from the zone with 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Doing a good job pitching. Quite a bit of experience up there, Adam Brown. He's been a good campaigner for that club for some time. He's been there ever since he came out of under-16s, basically. A lot of first-grade experience for Adam Brown. Ground ball now up the first base line. The first baseman will take it himself, Ashley Roberts. He steps on the bag and gets that out. Hustles across, had a bit of a shuffle step, but the number 63, Ash Roberts, up there at first base. Gets the out. Put out position 3 for the lead-off Daniel Rogers. 1 up, 1 down for the Marlins.
Tell you what, Rogers runs all right though, Harrow. He was almost there. He was half a step, at the most, of beating that out, and that was only a gentle roll at a first base. It should have been a no-hassle play for Manly. It turned into a scramble in the end.
And that's what you want from a lead-off, is a set of wheels. Get on base and get around the bags. At the plate now, Chase Kahn, the right fielder for the Marlins. Nice shape on that pitch from Brown, but missing high. And didn't get into the zone at all. All around it. Chase Kahn readies himself, takes a deep breath, and settles in there at home plate. Looking for the next pitch from Brown now. And he gets one off to the right field side, which will go well and truly foul. Well, it went into the back net. So it wasn't as far foul as I thought. The wind may have carried it. So Kahn digs in again. And looking for the outside edge there is Brown. Only to see it go a little low. So 2 balls, 1 strike on Chase Kahn. Looking for the outside edge again and missing. So 3 balls, 1 strike now from the Manly pitcher. Good shot you're getting there, straight over the pitcher's shoulder from centre field. And that one missing, I would say, down low is all we can see from up here.
Yep,
and that's a walk.
Just watching that shot from centre field, definitely was a fraction low. So a walk issued by both pitchers early on.
Chase Kahn and Central Coast Marlins get a runner on. Both clubs having a runner on early in the game. First inning. Bottom of the first here now from Blacktown International Sports Park. No score on the Red Stitches scoreboard at the commencement of this game. Very early days in a 9 innings grand final championship game. So clubs battling for that all-important championship trophy here this afternoon. Of course, this game will be followed at 5:30 by the first grade Game 2 of the Championship Series, a 3-game series. Game 1 last night in first grade, of course, was taken out by the Canterbury Vikings, quite substantially over the Blacktown Workers. Game 2 will be at 5:30 this afternoon in that series. Magnificent day weather-wise out here at Blacktown. Clear sky, a gentle breeze, nothing significant, and just perfect sunshine. At the plate, it is catcher Jake Phelps, another left-hander, lefty, in the batter's box. Brown gets a strike on Phelps now. That will be a 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count with 1 out, 1 runner on base. And Phelps at the plate. Number 35, catcher for the Marlins, as I mentioned.
And is listed as their coach.
Okay.
Oh, got him this time. Got him at first base, picked off. I thought it was close to the very first one, but obviously got him on the hand as it went back to the base. So Chase Khan picked off. So a couple of base runners lost by both teams. Very similar first innings for both teams at the moment.
I call it every time. I think anything you can do, I can do better, is what they're saying to each other. The place being set out there for a real arm wrestle between these two clubs this afternoon. That one down in the dirt from Adam Brown.
It was the wrong one.
Certainly was the wrong one.
Pitched it on a good length and they got it to turn a bit.
Of course, both these clubs are coastal clubs, if you like. Manly on the northern beaches of Sydney and Central Coast just a little bit further north of them, across the Hawkesbury River and Broken Bay. Central Coast heads halfway up to Newcastle, further north than Manly, but still coastal type suburbs.
It takes all in that Gosford sort of area, Gosford and all up that way along the entrance, all
up
the way
to
up
Wyong.
to Newcastle. Yep.
But both of those very pleasant areas near the sea. Similar lifestyles for all of these guys that live in that area. And another walk issued, back-to-back walks by Adam Brown, the Manly pitcher. So Jake Phelps at first, that will bring to the plate. Number 4 in the lineup, Dylan McMaster. McMaster expected in the 4 slot to be able to drive runners that are on base around. All of the Manly reserve bench up on the fence. All keen to support their guys that are out in the field at the moment, all looking for a spot as well. Similar in the Marlins dugout on the first base side. All of the club, all of the team that are there in uniform up on the fence. Good to see. Swinging strike there on McMaster. So a good display of baseball here this afternoon, early days. We're in the bottom of the first inning only. McMaster lays off that one. Obviously low, a little bit of a hopper on the plate into the catcher Brendan Haithwaite, blocking that one down. Haithwaite gets the signs down for Brown and a swing and a miss there from McMaster again. So 2 balls, 2 strikes now on McMaster. Dylan McMaster, the shortstop for the Marlins, is at the plate. So runner at first, Brown checks him. And comes to the plate now, as you can see. Straight into the zone, it rings him up. He knew it was there. He just indicated to the plate umpire he thought it might have been a little high. He left it alone, but we talked about it earlier. You've got to defend that zone with 2 strikes on you. So Dylan McMaster becomes the 3rd out on a strikeout. It was a KC. Struck out looking. They leave a runner on base as well. And 4 batters through the batter's box. And welcome back to the action here in this second grade grand final championship game between Manly and Central Coast in the second grade grand final series of State League Baseball, New South Wales. Leading off the top of the second innings, the second baseman Daniel Goodsell for Manly. And he rips one straight away centre field. There's a man out there. It is Mitchell Pearce. And Pearce doesn't have to move very, very far on a very hard hit ball, a well hit ball from Daniel Goodsell. But Pearce underneath it. It was straight away centre field. And Pearce had no trouble taking that one out of the sky for the first out. But a long, hard hit fly ball from Dan Goodsell. So fly ball to position 8 brings up the first out. Brendan Haythwaite steps in now, catcher for Manly. Haythwaite takes the first pitch high, fastball out of the zone from Kieran Johnston for the Coast. Haythwaite ready for the next one, launches it into left field side, down to position 7. Another very hard hit ball by the Manly side. It's Haythwaite now driving that one down to the deep left corner. And that's a well hit ball, a single to position 7. And that gets Manly a runner on base for the second time in this game. And a good start there. So runner on, one out. That brings to the plate Yu Matsuo. Left fielder for the Manly Eagles, Yu Matsuo. So Matsuo steps in for his first appearance. It's only the top of the second inning. And that's high, fly ball, goes to shortstop, puts his arm up and cannot get it. But that gets the lead runner out. Of course, Brendan Haythwaite caught there because the ball was a pop fly on the infield straight up over the head of shortstop Dylan McMaster. And McMaster has it hit the heel of his glove, doesn't take the catch. So the runner held up, of course, and then he ends up in no man's land and an easy out on that play.
Yeah, bad error that from the shortstop. You should be swallowing those, but thankfully there was a runner that had to tag up at first base pretty much, and so he was easy meat at second base.
Certainly was, and I can tell you McMaster wasn't happy with his effort catching there. So at the plate now we go to the number 11, Gabriel Mateo.
But looking right up into the sun, probably looking right at the sun to try and catch that McMaster, but you still got to get your glove up there, protect your eyes and catch that ball.
Yeah, I'll hit it straight on the heel of that glove, and he was disappointed, although he still got an out anyway, because it put Matsuo on first base with an error 6. But unfortunately for Brendan Haythwaite, he had no choice. He had to sort of stay halfway or far enough to get back to first. So Manly now with 2 out. Matsuo at first and Gabriel Mateo is in the batter's box. The number 11 and right fielder for Manly Eagles. So we're now down to a Mateo, 8th batter in the order. Top of the second inning. Swing and a miss there from Mateo. Still alive with 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Two the count. So there we go now. This next pitch comes in, misses to fill the count now, 3-2.
And with 2 out, the runner at first base in the form of Matsuo will be heading off on the pitch. So he'll be taking off as Kieran Johnston delivers this pitch to try and make something happen. If it's a strike, of course, it makes no difference. If it's a ball, it makes no difference. And if it's put into play, at least he'll have a nice head start.
Got to get something going here. It's an opportunity knocking. We're in the top of the second inning here at Blacktown International Sports Park in this championship game. High out of the zone. You're right, Cam. It walks Mateo. That's the second walk issued by Kieran Johnston from the Marlins. Johnston. And moves the runner to second base. So 2 runners on for the Eagles now. Brings to the plate the 9th batter in the lineup, the number 52, Adam O'Neill. That's my number.
Your number, 52.
It was the best year of my life. True. I made it. So O'Neill now. Ready to move his runners around. He's got 2 of them out there. So first pitch wide from Johnston. Jake Phelps behind the plate putting the signs down, selecting the pitches for Kieran Johnston. And a good field out there, outfield and infield. All active, early game. Everybody switched on, everybody with heightened sense of game time. Swing and a miss from O'Neill brings up the first strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. No score on the Red Stitches scoreboard as yet. Very early days. There it is, called strike as Kieran Johnston paints the outside edge of the plate on the right-hander. You're watching the Summer of Baseball, brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia. I'm Paul Harradine along with Cameron Hickson and Paul McCulloch. We're very pleased to bring you these grand final weekend games. High out of the zone from Johnston that time. It's a pleasure once again, after 11 or 12 years of broadcasting, for us to be able to bring you these grand final weekends, year after year. It's the culmination of a great deal of effort by lots and lots of people, not only the players and the clubs, the teams, coaching staff, but all of the officials involved as well. Especially the umpires out there who do a very, very good job week in, week out. Goes foul over the first base side into the family area here at Blue Sox Stadium, Blacktown International Sports Park, the home of the Sydney Blue Sox. And big series end of the ABL season for everybody involved in the ABL this year. Canberra had a good season. Sydney Blue Sox had a good season. And rung up there is Adam O'Neill. On that strike, looked to be a little high and wide. However, it's into the zone. I only have to get a corner of it. O'Neill goes down looking with a KC. And that brings up the third out on the Manly Eagles and shuts down the attack of the 2 players that were left on base. So 2 left on now in that top of the second inning. After 1.5 innings here from Blacktown International Sports Park, there's no score on the Red Stitches scoreboard. And welcome back to the action at Blacktown International Sports Park. We head to the bottom of the second inning in this second grade grand final championship game. And leading off for the Central Coast Marlins is Reece Newbold. It's first pitch straight to shortstop. Zorn gets it across to his first baseman and they get the out because Ashley Roberts, although he gets bumped at the base at first base, he shows the umpire the ball in his glove, and there was a slight movement between first baseman and runner, but all good there, was all accidental. They apologised to each other. But the umpire was there looking at the ball in the glove of Ashley Roberts as he showed it to him clearly. Reece Newbold out on a one pitch to shortstop. So a 6-3 play there. Great fielding by Brad Zorn as he gets it away. And it is 1 up, 1 down for Central Coast.
That'll bring Jack Day to the plate.
Correction of my pronunciation, Reece Newholt for that runner up there at first. 1 out, 6-3 ground out, and Jack Day at the plate now, the first baseman for the Marlins. Thanks, Cam, for that.
Only because I've got the stats pages open. It was very hard to read on the lineup sheets.
It was, yeah. It looked a bit like a W and a B, but it's a U and a H. Or is it an H? Depends on which way you pronunciate things. So Adam Brown on the mound now, pitching to Jack Day. On ball, 2 strikes on Day already. And Brown working away, gets him swinging at the outside edge. He just gets a little tip end of the bat on that, does Day. You saw that just move away and goes to the back net. A little bit of a foul tip. Just waved the bat out there on the outside edge. And that's exactly what Adam Brown was aiming for him to do, but not make contact. 1-2 pitch again now from Adam Brown. And he gets Day swinging, takes off up the line, drop third strike. Can he get the out? He's going to try. No, he cannot. Jack Day lives again. He gets a life at home plate as that ball was at the feet of catcher Brendan Haythwaite. And he just could not get it in time to get it up the line.
Always the hardest thing when that third strike's down in the dirt and the ball doesn't go straight into your mitt so that you can come up with a tag. It's working out exactly where it went. And the worst place it can possibly be is sitting between your 2 feet as a catcher, because you turn one way, it's not there. You turn the other way, it's not there. All of a sudden, panic goes through. Where is it? And it's right underneath your feet. You can't pick it up and make the throw. And unfortunately for Haythwaite, then time ran out and the runner up to first base. And it's a mistake you don't like to have as a team, because you've done all the hard work and gotten the strikeout at the plate, but then you just can't finish it off and put him back in the dugout.
And there's the ball sitting on the ground in clear sight, but between your feet in the wrong
everyone
place.
Can see where it is bar you, because you're standing on top of it.
Yeah. Mitchell Phelps, the designated hitter for the Marlins, is at the plate right now. That's Phelps. And Brown and the others will be looking to make amends there in the field. They've got 1 runner on with 1 out. Phelps at the plate, the third batter in this bottom of the second inning. It's another nicely located strike there, fastball from Adam Brown. Low in the zone and on the outside edge. Players looking up the line to their third base coach, Sean Smith from the Marlins. What does Brown offer up to Phelps this time? Tries the same area but down too low out of the zone. We'll bring the umpiring crew shortly. We'll get a set of umpires. We'll tell you who's out there in blue.
I've only got first and second base, Harold. I haven't worked out who's at third base yet.
It looks a bit like Billy.
Yeah, it is indeed.
Billy Green at third base. Missing inside that time. Backing Phelps off the plate just a little bit. Adam Brown with a fastball through the inside, and Phelps does back away from the plate. That's just to get him back off a little bit. Clears the outside edge. And now the full count pitch coming up from Brown. And there it is, and he gets him swinging. Set him up, knock him down. That was the plan from Adam Brown in the backup pitch before that. So strikes out there Mitchell Phelps with a K2, and that brings up the second out on the Central Coast Marlins.
Strange choice of DH today by the Marlins, using Mitchell Phelps as their DH. Didn't have a great season with the bat and only batted 1-1-1 on the season, and that was with plenty of appearances, 13 appearances. I suppose because he played all their games this year, they had to find a spot for him somewhere. But only batting 1-1-1 and having had 19 strikeouts out of his 27 at-bats. It's a strange choice for a DH in a one-game grand final.
DH meaning designated hitter.
But as I said, having played all 13 games in second grade this season for the Marlins, I presume that they wanted to find the kid a spot out there somewhere.
Yeah, I would say so. Deserved participation in the grand final. It's Jack Stevenson at the plate now, the third baseman for the Marlins. He's been involved in a couple of plays so far early in the game. Got 2 outs, fielding the ball at third base in the first inning.
Yeah, the first one was a very good take, a hard hit ball that hopped up high. He had to stay with it. He did a great job there at third base to get that first out.
Stevenson, the left-handed hitter, you can see on screen. That one down low in the dirt. Runner takes off. Probably won't get him. Might have got him. He has got him. Great fielding from Brad Zorn. A throw from Brendan Haythwaite. Took a hop on the ground, but Brad Zorn was right there. Got the ball straight into his glove, and the runner had nowhere to go but to slide into that glove. It was Jack Day put out there on that slide. Excellent fielding, Brad Zorn. Well done. A good baseball all round, Jack Stevenson. Will come back to the plate. He wasn't out. Yep. He will come back. We'll start with Jack Stevenson again, as the third out there was Jack Day sliding into that throw over from catcher Haythwaite to the shortstop Brad Zorn in position 6. 3 up, 3 down at the end of it in the scoreboard. And Jack Stevenson will come back and lead off in the bottom of the third inning. So no score on the scoreboard still from Blacktown International Sports Park. And thanks to Red Stitches Baseball and Softball Supplies, gratefully providing us support for this series here over the weekend. And no score on the board. We'll be back in just a moment.
Your mic is on. And welcome back to Blacktown International Sports Park. The Summer of Baseball, proudly brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia, bringing you all the action of all the grand finals here in the State Baseball League. New South Wales variety here in front of us. Second grade between the Manly Eagles and the Central Coast Marlins. We're into the top of the third inning. Manly batting in the top of the third inning, back to the top of their order, and Trent Nicol in the batter's box. Grounded out his first at-bat, falls behind 0-2 to the Marlins pitcher, Kieran Johnston. So a pretty standard start, a bit of arm wrestle between the two. Probably Manly with slightly the better of the early going, but it is still 0-0 on the Red Stitches scoreboard. And as such, at 0-0, it is still really well open to one of these teams to take the advantage, try and press a little bit of this advantage. 1-2 pitch from Johnson on its way. Big breaking pitch, misses inside. Possibly a little bit low as well. Level account at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Johnson just taking his time up on the mound. I can tell you that through the season, the regular season of 11 games, Kieran Johnson pitched in 8 of them. Had a 4-1 record as he tries a breaking pitch again that Trent Nicol was trying to take on the thigh, and he just let it miss him. He was trying to just let it strike him on the thigh as it broke down, and he'd have been much better making sure he stepped into it to make sure it caught him on the buttock or somewhere around there, and a nice, in the middle of the back or somewhere like that. It was only a breaking pitch, but he misses it. Now he has to face a 3-2 pitch. It's a fastball. It's hit hard down the third base line, but foul.
Well, turned on it. Nice quick hands there from Nicol.
Kieran Johnson with an ERA of 2.73 on the season. As I said, a win-loss record of 4-1, which is a very good record for a second-grade pitcher. Through 33 innings, and it gave up 10 earned runs. So a pretty good effort that for Kieran Johnston on his season with the Marlins. Hence he got the grand final start. Misses high and inside to Trent Nicol. He will walk him, giving up his 3rd walk of the afternoon. Only gave up, let's have a look here, he gave up 31 walks on his regular season in 33 innings pitches, so it was pretty much giving up a walk an inning.
Yeah.
So that's something he'll need to work on if he wants to work up through the grades and ply his trade as a pitcher.
There was a bit of chin music on that last one too. Obviously not where he intended for it to go.
No point throwing chin music when you've got three balls on the batter already, Harry.
Came out a little bit early from his grip.
Pitch out there. They were expecting Nicol to run. He is the lead-off, so they were expecting him to run.
Very experienced head on Trent Nicol, I can tell you.
And I can tell you Trent Nicol has stolen 5 bases from 5 attempts in the regular season, so he's 5 from 5 in the regular season. So they're obviously expecting Nicol to go. And the pitch out not successful on that occasion. There was a big switch and a change around. Almost maybe expecting Brad Zorn to bunt because there was a lot of movement in the field. So maybe they were expecting Zorn to do something a little bit funky, but he didn't. And the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike.
Got a good set of wheels, Trent Nicol.
A long set of signals down from the third base coach for the Manly side. Brad Zorn's got them now, just takes the pitch. It's up high, 2 balls, 1 strike. Again, he steps out to watch the set of signals. Being laid down by the third base coach. Got them now. Heads back to the batter's box. Kieran Johnson, the 2-1 pitch, the runner goes. A hit and run was the signal. It is flared into centre field. Should be an easy catch out there for Pearce, barring the sun. It is. He fires towards first base to try and turn a double. The throw just not strong enough as scampering back to first base to quick Nicol. He will get back there. Zorn will be out on the fly ball to centre field. And obviously a hit and run put on Brad Zorn. They were expecting something a little bit different. They got it. Unfortunately for Manly, Zorn could only flare it into centre field.
Certainly a good piece of bat to ball. They're hitting them hard, these guys. And that was it. Trent Nicol, a good exhibition of what you do at first base when there's a fly ball going to the outfield. If you're the first base runner, the wording is you go as far down the line towards second base as you can to get back to first if you need to.
Well, he had to put the brakes on because it was a hit and run.
He was a long way down there.
He was down at least 3/4 of the way down. Had to put the brakes on and turn and really hustle back to the bag, which he did. Foul ball from Aidan Torpey at the plate. Torpey, the offensive leader for this Manly team in second grade. He played 7 games for them this season. Ended up with an average of .478 in over 20 at-bats. So he was their offensive leader. 7 RBIs, a couple of doubles thrown in there on the season. So a pretty good season. Only 1 strikeout in those 23 at-bats. So a batter that makes contact more often than not, which is what you want in your number 3 hitter. 0-1 pitch on its way. It's driven into the gap between first and second, out to right field, rounding second and putting the brakes on at the last possible moment is Nicol, diving back to second base. I thought he was going to take the throw on from Chase Kahn, the right fielder.
He was.
And at the last possible moment, he decided to put the brakes on and head back towards second base. And even that made it a slightly dodgy play for Nicol going back to second base, as the throw was a good one from Kahn. He hit his shortstop McMaster perfectly. And McMaster went diving in after Nicol himself. But Nicol's safe at second base. A base hit to Aidan Torpey. He gets it first. Now first and second with one out for Manly. Ashley Roberts to the plate. Ashley Roberts second in their batting for the season. He played 12 of the 13 games, so he only missed one game. Had almost 40 at-bats, 39 at-bats for an average of 368. So another high average considering the number of at-bats he had in a level as high as second grade.
You look at some of the stats and they are just outstanding, aren't they? There's so many batters above 300.
And they're pretty much all in the lineup apart from one or two. I'd say one of the Japanese boys has probably had to go home. A lot of them did.
Yeah, a lot of them are in the district permanently. They went to school. They played juniors there. A lot of those guys I knew when they were a fair bit younger than they are today. And to see their faces now, they're young men. And I remember even umpiring and coaching some of them when they were quite young in the 14s and 15 age group.
So Ashley Roberts looking to possibly drive in the first run of the game. Nickel, it is in scoring position at second base. Torpy at first. His pitch is low and outside. It'll be a second ball to Ashley Roberts. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 away. No score on the Red Stitches scoreboard. Kieran Johnson just taking a little bit of time out there. Pleasant day for baseball here in the west of Sydney. A very gentle breeze blowing in. Blue skies all around, mid-20s, probably about 23 or 24 degrees, so a very pleasant autumn afternoon, the last day of March.
Picture-perfect day here, Cam. It really is a picture-perfect day, perfect for sport of any type.
Johnson to the plate, 2-1 pitches outside again. Trying to work the outside edge, not come too close to Ashley Roberts. But needs to find a strike. Falls behind 3-1 does Kieran Johnston now. This will be a pitch Ashley Roberts will be watching with great anticipation. He'll be jumping all over this. He'll be waiting on fast ball. See whether or not Johnson can challenge him. Stays away, and that will be ball 4. Did not look like he wanted to come and challenge Roberts at all in that at-bat.
And 4 walks from Kieran Johnston, Cam, as you mentioned earlier. He's
averaged
averaged one per game, now 4 in the grand final.
Correct. He averages about 1 per inning, and this is inning 3. He's given up 4, so it's something that he's got to work on. He's got to come to that plate and challenge the hitters. It didn't look like he ever really wanted to challenge Ashley Roberts, but it doesn't get any easier for Kieran Johnston on the mound. He now faces Daniel Goodsell, another of these that you mentioned with a 360 average on this occasion on 25 at-bats, and a couple of doubles thrown in there as well, so it doesn't get any easier.
Dan Goodsell with 5 RBIs through the season.
First pitch misses up, so cannot afford a walk. A walk will cost the Marlins a run. Now they're actually going to send somebody down to the bullpen, so action already for the Marlins.
Goodsell went deep to centre field in his first appearance in the second inning.
This misses low and outside. Now the pressure building on Johnston and the Marlins. Corners playing fraction shallow, looking to come through home plate on a force. The pivot staying at double play depth, looking to try and turn a double and get out of the inning. Johnson steadies the 2-0 pitch on its way. It's hit into left field. It'll score at least 1. Rounding and holding at third will be Aidan Torpy, but Trent Nickel will score the game's first run. Manly lead the second grade grand final 1-0. Daniel Goodsell with the RBI single to left field to get things rolling for the Eagles.
Yeah, good at bat there from Goodsell. Always reliable. He's in the 5 slot with loaded bases. Something had to happen, and he did produce what the coach would have expected him to produce for his teammates. The pain is not over for the Marlins yet. There's still loaded bases in front of them with only 1 out.
Pitching himself into a bit of a corner, Kieran Johnson, giving up a couple of walks and then falling behind runners. You've got no choice but to come back and challenge them. And the hitters, as we said, Torpy, Roberts, Goodsell, all batting over 360. You get through Hathwaite, and then you've got Matsuo and Matteo both batting well as well. So it's no easy task for this Marlin lineup. Has to make something happen. Gets Brendan Hathwaite to foul off the first pitch he sees. Hathwaite had a hit to left field the first time he came up. He went after that one way up in the zone. He was just trying to smack that into left field again. He was just trying to tug that round the corner almost a cricket style, trying to play like a little hook shot or a pull shot, just whip it round the corner. And he got absolutely nothing on it and finds himself in a hole 0-2 now against Johnston. Johnston, big curveball. Got in front 0-2, thought he could throw that curveball. Needs to back that curveball a little bit more. Has good movement on it. Has very good break on it. And we didn't see him throw that once to Ashley Roberts or Daniel Goodsell, and maybe he needs to just bring that pitch out a little bit more. I understand it's only the second time through the lineup for Kieran Johnston. Needs to use all of his arsenal here to get himself out of trouble. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, and the bases loaded. Pitch is in the zone for strike 3. Yeah. Hathwaite caught looking. He will go down watching strike 3 head across the plate. And that is a real no-no with loaded bases.
That's the one we talk about.
You've got to be going down swinging with loaded bases for sure.
All-important plate defence. When you've got that sort of count on you and your buddies out there, you've got to make sure that you make some sort of contact. If you can't hit it cleanly, at least make contact with it and keep yourself alive at the plate.
Loaded bases and you're down 2 strikes. You should be swinging at anything that is thereabouts. It doesn't need to be down the middle. It just only needs to be thereabouts. And you've got to be trying to put it into play and make something happen. Who knows, you could hit it to someone, they make an error, you score a run, maybe
Correct.
Score 2.
And we've seen that happen. We saw it happen yesterday.
Yeah, you make them make a throw, they might throw it away, throw it into the stands or something, and you might score 2 or 3 runs.
As BMAC always says, don't let the umpire make the decision, make it for him.
Yu Matsuo. He is the batter at the plate now, got a board courtesy of an error.
Oof.
His first bat. Hangs in there, tries to swing that one into left field. Comes up empty. 1 ball, 1 strike. The bases are still loaded, but 2 away now. But Manly do have a run on the board. Trent Nicol crosses, courtesy of a Daniel Goodsell base hit. And that gives Manly a 1-0 lead in the early stages. Top of the 3rd here on the Red Stitcher scoreboard. Again, another high inside pitch. And again, Matsuo trying to just whack that one around the corner. Seen that a lot from the Manly hitters, those high inside fastballs. They're going after, trying to turn them around the corner. And coming up empty. Now Johnson, can he pitch himself out of a massive jam with only giving up 1 run? This would be big for the Marlins. Would almost be a win, even though they've given up 1 run. Matsuo fouls one off. Up onto the roof.
Yep. Dangling out the back there. It's just rolled off the metal. Very noisy once they get up there.
This would almost be seen as a win by the Marlins to only give up 1 run after being in this situation. But it is 1 run that they have to get back. They are now behind. See how Matsuo goes here. 1-2 pitch. Curveball. Fouls it off to the netting.
Marlins, of course, still have that advantage of batting in the bottom of the inning, but they have got something to chase, albeit 1 run.
Well, if they can limit the damage to 1 run, as I said, they'll be somewhat happy. It's an inning that could have ended up anywhere when it was loaded bases 1 out. Goodsell put that run on the board. Now anything could happen. Yep. Next pitch came through in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Johnson trying to find a way out for the Marlins. This one straight at Matsuo. Could have leaned into it. Probably should have leaned into it. There was a run gone begging there. Yeah, might have dinged around the helmet or take it on the shoulder.
It was chin high.
Take it on the shoulder. Doesn't hurt that much. Only bruises up for a week or so.
Oh. A jaw.
So Johnson now with a full count pitch. The bases are loaded and there are 2 out. The pitch on its way. The runner's all going. It's high. It's inside and it's swung on again. So all 3 strikes from Matsuo were high inside pitches that he probably didn't need to swing at. But the Marlins, they get themselves out of a jam. They give up only the 1 run here in the top of the 3rd inning, and that will be seen as a very minor victory for the Marlins. It is 1-0 Manly over the Marlins here on the Red Stitcher scoreboard, but it could have been so much more. So whilst Manly get a run, the momentum may swing to the Marlins. We will see when we come back with the bottom of the 3rd. And welcome back to Blacktown International Sports Park. All of a sudden I sound like I'm in a bit of a chamber.
That's because you turned my mic on and not yours.
Oh, that'll explain it. How about I press number 2 and I turn myself on, rather than sound like I'm in a chamber. Back here for the bottom of the 3rd, leading things off will be Stevenson. Little flare into left field. It is on the line, which is in. So that is a fair ball, and it will be a single for Jack Stevenson. Was just waiting on the umpire. It looked like it came down on the line, and we were just waiting on the umpire to signal. He signalled it on the fair side, and that will be a base hit for Stevenson. That umpire out there, Billy Green. The home plate umpire today, Jordan Taylor. First base, Matt Saunders, and Billy Green. He was only about a metre away from that when it landed. A good piece of umpiring. Went out and made sure he had his eyes exactly where it landed. He saw it hit the line, signalled it fair, and Stevenson with a lead-off single for the Marlins. We said they might take a little bit of confidence from getting out of jail in that last inning, and it looks as though they may. Stevenson now with a base hit to lead things off. And even though Manly have the lead 1-0 on the Red Stitcher scoreboard, the Marlins feel like they have a little bit of the momentum in terms of, the just being a bit more enthusiastic and being upbeat about what has happened for them in these recent moments of this game. Mitchell Pearce, the hitter now for the Marlins. He waits in now on Adam Brown. Brown fires low and outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike on Mitchell Pearce. Pearce batting .346 himself on the season in 10 games. Had 26 at-bats. Just the 1 RBI. So he will be hanging in. Oh, pick off. They've got him cold. Good move by Adam Brown. It goes to the first baseman, Roberts, to the shortstop, and back to Roberts for the put-out. So it will be a 1-3 to 6-3. For the put-out on Stevenson, but a great move by Adam Brown. Absolutely caught Jack Stevenson leaning the wrong way, and from there it was just a matter of time before Stevenson was run down and tagged out. So 1-3 to 6-3. That will record the first out. Now Manly have got a little bit of momentum going for themselves. They can work it back now. as they get that first out. They've got that run. Can they consolidate? Pop up, middle of the diamond. Second baseman, Goodsell. No first baseman will go after it, Roberts. So it's all the Ashley Roberts show at the moment. He assists and gets the rundown. 2 handles in the rundown. And then takes that pop-up from Mitchell Pearce. And as quickly as you like, Manly consolidating that run they scored in the top half of the inning. And that will bring Daniel Rogers to the plate for the Marlins. He was their offensive leader in the regular season, batting .444 on his 27 at-bats. So that's a very good average. Did pick quite a lot of walks, had half a dozen walks in those 27 at-bats. So that's what does help your average. He took ball 1. This one catches the outside edge for a strike. So Rogers, who hit a hard hit ball to Roberts in the first inning. In fact, it was a moderately hit ball, but he ran so well that it turned it into a very close play at first base in his first at-bat. Now takes that pitch, which was outside and low. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 away. Bottom of the third, Manly lead it 1-0 on the Red Stitches scoreboard. His pitch fouled off. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Rogers. Don't forget, if you do need any baseballing equipment, any softballing equipment, any umpiring equipment, jump online to redstitches.com.au. They'll sort you out. Rogers now steps himself back into the batter's box. Ready to face the next pitch from Adam Brown. Tries another pitch. Looked like he was trying a big slider or something and just lost total control of it. It whizzed out. High and outside to fill the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 away. Full count pitch from Adam Brown on its way. Fastball. It is low. And ball 4. Always tough for us sitting directly behind the umpire and the catcher with the height of the pitches. It was certainly well located. It was just a little bit low. Daniel Rogers walks, and this is a threat for the Marlins. He had 11 attempts at stealing during the regular season and made it on 9 occasions. So a real threat to swipe second as Chase Kahn steps into the batter's box. He walked his first at-bat of the day. Very interesting to see what happens here. Called strike on Kahn. Kahn steps out and gets his signals from manager Smith. Pick-off attempt. Back goes Daniel Rogers. He's going to get a lot of that from Adam Brown. Adam Brown's already picked 1 off in this inning. Daniel Rogers with his wheels. He'll be a threat. Off he goes. The pitch is allowed to go. It's a curveball, which is going to give them no chance whatsoever. Adam Brown went with the curve, and with the wheels that we know Daniel Rogers has, there was no chance at all with that being a curveball that the catcher Haythwaite was going to have any chance to pick him off at second base. So he swipes second, does Rogers, and that will give the Marlins a runner in scoring position for Chase Kahn to try and drive in. Kahn, a .286 hitter on the season. Adam Brown finds another strike on Chase Kahn. That'll make it 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 away. Here in the bottom of the third, runner in scoring position is Rogers, and we know he has wheels, so a base hit will definitely score him as that slider is low and outside. Started in a good position and just broke down and away, which is what you want with your sliders. So it was a good pitch, but well laid off by Kahn, not going after it, not getting fooled by Brown's slider. Two pitch from Brown. Another curveball. Misses upstairs. Fills it at 3-2. Just trying a little hard at the moment. I know he was in front in the count to be a little bit fancy. Probably time to put one at belt buckle high. Fastball maybe on the inside part of the plate. Try and jam him up a little bit. And if he doesn't swing at it, you still get the called strike. See what he does here with a full count. 2 out, full count, runner at second. Goes that fastball and blows it straight past Chase Khan. That's what he needed. I thought he might have thrown it the previous pitch, but he gets the job done. He strikes out Chase Khan, and Manly will consolidate that run they scored in the top half of the inning. So we are through 3 completed innings here at Blacktown International Sports Park, and on the Red Stitches scoreboard we can see it is 1-0 Manly over the Central Coast Marlins. And welcome back to Blacktown International Sports Park. We head to the 4th inning. Manly on the Red Stitcher scoreboard, leading it 1-0 in the batter's box for Manly is Gabriel Matou. Well, being French, I guess it's Matau, isn't it? Anyhow, Gabriel is in the batter's box. Ball on him. Kieran Johnston to start things off. Matteau waiting on Johnson. That pitch is on the inside edge for a strike. So 1-1 now to Matteau. And Matteau with an average of 3.57 on the season. In his 6 games with Manly in second grade. Sometimes some of these figures get a little bit distorted with the fact that some of these players will have played a little bit of third grade before they came up to second grade, and maybe 18s as well before they then came into second grade. And also some players came back from first grade to make sure that they could qualify for second grade once the first grade side was looking like it was having an average season. They can put some players back into second grade, make sure they qualify them up.
Yeah, that's right, Cam. They've moved between the grades. Second graders are the ones that are moving the most between 1s and 3s. Of course, they're right stuck in the middle. And this team here has been fairly solidly kept consistent.
Quite often this is where the 18s will go for a little bit of experience up in higher grades. They'll come into the second grade side.
Yeah. There is a lot of first grade experience in both of these teams here today. Some have been up in first grade in previous years on a regular basis. So regular, consistent play, most of it in second grade. Of course, there are qualifying criteria.
Full count pitch is ripped into left field. It's going to get down into fair territory. It lands about a metre inside, bounces into the bullpen with a little bit of tail, and that will be held to a double. And Gabriel Matu with a double to lead things off here for Manly in the fourth inning.
Massive rip there from Matto, and may well have rolled into that corner. The bullpen fences 2 years ago used to be full 8-foot fences, the same as the outfield. That one's able to hop over there and go deep into that corner. He may well have only got to second base anyway, but the pair of wheels we saw him exhibit, he may well have got to third.
In the old days when the line went from the dugout all the way out to the corner, that would certainly have been a triple because that ball would have dribbled all the way into the corner in foul territory, right down the foul line. But with the way they've extended this ballpark to put the bullpens out there, which needed to be covered for the World Baseball Classic qualifiers that they had here, and the fact that they've put a beer garden and a family area in as well here at Blue Sox Stadium. Now with a bit of tail, that ball sort of took the hop and went into the bullpen, as we see a ball fouled off by Adam O'Neill down the first base line.
So a double there for Gabriel Matto, and he stands safely at second base there, putting some pressure back onto the Central Coast Marlins. Is that Manly hitter?
Very interesting how the momentum changes so quickly. Manly had the momentum all for themselves when they had a run across the board, loaded bases, and only one out. The Marlins managed to get themselves out of that jam, get themselves a little bit of momentum. They got a base hit off the first pitch in the bottom of the innings to Stevenson, and it looked like all was going to be good. Then all of a sudden, Manly with the pick-off, dragged a little bit of momentum back, got the next two outs, got out of the inning 3 up, 3 down, as this one's ripped into centre field. Going back is Pearce. He has a beat on it. He loses it in the sun. He just put his hand up and lost where that one was, and that will end up with a double as well, this time to O'Neill. He will stand at second, tagging up at second base to see what happened was Matau, and he will go to third and hold there. So Matau to third, Adam O'Neill will go to second base, and Mitchell Pearce was just out in the sun, and just couldn't find that one to the sun and just let it land about a metre away from him.
Really difficult for him. He got across to it, but then pulled up just a little bit short on it. It was only the length of his hand, really, at the end of the glove that he couldn't get to it.
It looked like he had a really good read on it there early and then just lost it in the sun, and that will be all she wrote for Kieran Johnston.
And the sun is going, as it was yesterday afternoon, at this same time, directly over the back of the grandstand, straight into the centre fielder's eyes.
I hope it goes the same way every day, Harrow, otherwise we're in trouble. It doesn't come up in the east and go down in the west every day.
More about the timing, Cam.
I think we're in a bit of trouble. So we'll see who is coming out onto the mound now. I'll try and get a number.
Me?
I'm not. I'm just saying, if it comes up in the north one morning, I'm in real trouble.
Move the bed around.
Number 20. Turn a little bit more for us. Turn you back to us.
For the Marlins. Oh, don't have numbers on the reserve
21.
bench.
Beautiful.
No numbers on the reserve bench.
Yep, they have got them there. Again, very hard to read their
Manly.
Their lineup sheet.
That's Manly.
That is Manly, so it is Marlins. Okay, so we don't have numbers.
I'll see if we can find that out. I'll launch a question into the...
We'll take a number.
We'll go to the research department through the window next door and get the name of that player, number 21. And it's coming through now.
Brock Ridge.
From the scorers.
Brock Ridgeway, is it?
Ridgewell. Brock Ridgewell.
That'll do us.
Ridgewell did have time to warm up in the pen.
He went up. I did mention him going up to the bullpen. Brock Ridgewell on the second grade season. Let's have a look at his stats. A 6.91 ERA, a 2-2 win-loss record, pitched in 5 games, 14.1 innings pitched, gave up 15 hits and 11 earned runs, 11 strikeouts to 6 walks on his season. So not a bad season. ERA a little bit higher than what he would like. But that sometimes can't be helped because sometimes you'll come in for an inning here or there and give up a couple of runs.
Only through 14 innings. So, as you say, it may have been sporadic. Obviously a relief pitcher. So that could have been spread over 30 games for all we know.
Well, no, you've got games and appearances. You've got appearances of 5.
Sorry.
So, yeah. All good.
Thanks, Cam.
That's what the stat sheets are for.
2-0. 2-0 on me.
That's
0-2.
So that will bring Trent Nicol to the plate.
Oh, you're harassing me.
A shout out to Chris Goss, who is watching in from the Central Coast.
Gossy.
Hello to Chris Goss. The Marlins hanging in there at the moment, Chris. Need to shut down here. Real threat for Manly. Runners at third and second with nobody out. And a new pitcher in Brock Ridgewell on the mound. First pitch is low and outside to Trent Nicol. Nicol has walked and grounded out in his 2 at-bats. And he will be desperately looking to add a couple of RBIs to his season tally. Next pitch is low as well. 2 straight balls on Trent Nicol. Has 3 RBIs on the season.
Ridgewell coming in with ducks on the pond out there. 2 runners, both in scoring position. That's a lot of pressure on a pitcher just coming in.
He does have an open base, so if he does really, and now he does fall behind 3-0, he's probably better just to avoid the plate on this one. Give him first base. Set up again against Brad Zorn.
And the backup issue, of course, of Manly at the top of their order.
Correct. And if he can't get an out or a double play on Brad Zorn, then he's in real trouble, because then the real meat of the Manly order steps up in Torpy, Roberts and Goodsell. Base on balls, so no real damage done with a free base open at first base. But what it does do is loads the bases with nobody out here in the top of the 4th. Manly had loaded bases in the 3rd with 1 out and only managed 1 run. Let's see what they do here. Can they improve now that they're at the relief pitcher, Ridgewell?
And, of course, Brad Zorn in his first plate appearance got a single to the left field side. That's the one that went deep as well, and was put out later on a 2-4 play trying to steal second base. But he certainly hit a long ball out to left field side. And then in his last appearance, a deep fly ball over centre field.
Yeah, it was a hit and run play, and he ripped it out into centre field, unfortunately, and it was down the throat of Mitchell Pearce out there. Called strike to start things off here for Ridgewell. Corners in, pivots back, tries a big breaking pitch, and he backed Zorn off very quickly, and as the pitch started to break, it just didn't break enough.
And that, of course, is a suspicion from the Marlins defence that Zorn is likely to bunt to move runners around, to score a run, but I don't think so.
They also want to play a force play to the corners through the plate, so they want to, if they get one to the corners, go through the plate looking for a double play. As this pitch is down low, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And for that to happen, they'll have to get something into play. So they're going to have to try and drag a ground ball on the infield out of Zorn.
That's what you need with loaded bases, nobody out. You want either a strikeout or a ground out to one of your corners that are playing a little bit shallower. Although you would trade 1 run for a double play at this situation.
High and wide, that one.
Now real trouble on Ridgewell. He falls behind 3 balls, 1 strike. Loaded bases, nobody out. So no room for error here from Ridgewell. Brad Zorn must know that. The experienced baseballer that he is must be sitting waiting on a fastball down the middle. What can he do? 3-1 pitch. There it is. But it's low and inside. He was sitting on a fastball. He got a fastball, but it was low and inside. He will walk, and everybody will advance 90 feet. Gabriel Matteau will score. Adam O'Neill will advance to 3rd. Trent Nicol to 2nd. Brad Zorn walks to 1st. And now real trouble for the Marlins. You've got Torpy batting 478. You've got Roberts batting 368. You've got Goodsell batting 360. They're the next due-ups with nobody out. And a real chance for Manly to blow this one wide open.
Yeah, backs to the wall for the Central Coast Marlins right here, right now. And they're relying on Ridgewell to get a ball in play at least and let the field get the outs. Let the infield do the work. Fly balls to the outfield. Anything like that will do, but Marlins desperate to get an out here with loaded bases yet again.
Torpy going straight after the first pitch he saw, fouling it back to the screen. He wasn't far away from it. He's looking for a base hit, a sac fly, anything to score another run. This pitch is low in the dirt again from Ridgewell. He's missing in the right areas, but he's missing too often.
The Manly bullpen is very active as well at this stage. They're going to make sure everybody's fresh and ready to go. Adam Brown's pitch count has been checked. We don't know what it is yet, but Brown, pitch count checked at the end of the last innings. He's only pitched 3 innings so far, so he may well have another 2 innings left in him. but they're just making sure that they've got pitchers ready to go if need be at short notice.
A good pitch coming in there from Ridgewell, catches the outside corner. He needed that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's action in the Marlins bullpen as well, so they've got 2 players up there throwing hard. Ridgewell, can he pitch his way out of it? A 1-2 pitch on its way now. It's swung on, hit towards shortstop. They will probably trade a double play. No, they're going to go to the plate. It's going to be a wild throw. It's going to end up almost up here in the commentary box.
Wow.
Dylan McMaster decided to come to the plate to try and get the lead runner, and he throws it away. And Manly add a second run. O'Neill scores. Torpy aboard courtesy of the fielder's choice, and everyone else advances 90 feet. Nickel to third, Zorn to second, and a wild throw from shortstop Dylan McMaster. Thought he was going to just try and turn 2, give up the run to turn 2. It was a hard hit ball straight at him.
Would have been a better option, maybe get the double play and reduce the damage. But that one really hurts. Even if he threw directly to catch it, but it just came out of his hand wrong. He could not have had a grip on it the height that it
just
went.
Launched it. As I said, it almost went over. There's a double safety net here at Blacktown International Sports Park. The first safety net goes up, what would it be, about 30 feet, and then there's a gap back to the second one, and only just hit about 2/3 of the way up the first one. It was that wild.
Manly, of course, batting in the top of the inning. They need to build a buffer. They need to build insurance because Central Coast get the last
this
roll
one hit
of the
the
dice.
5-6 hole, and it'll score at least one more. They're going to hold everybody again as the throw comes to the plate. Not a great throw, but well handled by Phelps behind the dish in the end. But Ashley Roberts with an RBI. He drives one into left field. Second pitch he sees, and that will bring home Nickel. He will score. Zorn to third. Torpy to second, and this is starting to get ugly now for the Marlins. Manly have been the best team all season, but now it's 4-0 on the Red Stitcher scoreboard.
Manly's third base coach out there just holding the runners, getting the run, holding them, no risk. He's not taking any exceptional risks.
Yep, with nobody out, you don't want to be toasting somebody at the plate. You're better off allowing your next hitter, who, as we said, is Goodsell, another batter hitting over 360 on the season. You may as well give him the opportunity to put one into the outfield and score you another run.
Absolutely.
Even a sack fly will do you. You're 4-0 up here. Every run from here on in is a massive insurance run.
With none out, loaded bases, 7 runners through the plate, including Dan Goodsell, who's there right now.
Big swing and a miss from Goodsell. He was going after that curveball from Ridgewell. And Ridgewell finally ahead of a hitter, 0-2 now. He is ahead of Daniel Goodsell. Goodsell just needs to shorten up here and make contact, make something happen. He's seen McMaster's just throw one away. Needs to make something happen. That one misses inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Be very interesting to see what the pivots do on this occasion if they get one hit hard to them. It's cost them a couple of runs already. Goodsell waits. That one's high. Takes it. Nice check of the swing. We've seen a couple of Manly batters go down already today swinging at that exact same pitch.
He just held back on it just enough. Just hand control.
Now a 2-2 pitch for Goodsell. Curveball, swing and a miss, and Ridgewell gets a big strikeout for the Marlins here in the top of the 4th.
Only the first out for the Marlins here in the top of the 4th. Manly still with loaded bases sitting out there. 1 out, 7 batters through the plate, as I said earlier. Brings to the plate Brendan Haithwaite, the catcher, and he's had a single to 7 and a strikeout thus far.
And it makes it a little bit easier for the Marlins because now the decision should be made for them. The pivots should be looking for that double play, and the corners should be looking for the force through home plate and then a possible double play. So that should make the decisions easier for the Marlins defence, but it doesn't make it any easier for Ridgeway on the mound. He has to find strikes. And does with that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike, right on the outside edge. Warming into his work well, Ridgeway. Wasn't given the easiest of tasks coming into this game with runners at second and third and nobody out. He walked the first batter he hit to load them up. He's been trying to get out of the jam ever since. Goes back to that outside edge, finds it again for strike 2. Good pitch that from Brock Ridgewell.
It was warm out of the bullpen, warming up even more now that he's in the game and facing this many batters so far.
1-2 pitch from Ridgewell. Looks for that outside corner again. Just lost it a little bit low. I think he was there and thereabouts again. But it just looked like it was dying as it got to the strike zone. No joy on this occasion. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's starting to zone in on that front corner of the plate. Looks like catcher setting up inside on this occasion. It is, and it's hit hard to left field and high. Back goes Newhold, and Newhold drops it. No catch given, and that will score another run. Newhold, I thought, had a good beat on it. He had to go a long way back.
He turned around, Cam. As soon as he spun around, he was gone.
Got himself a little bit tangled up. He muffs the fly, and that will allow another run it across the plate. It was going to be a sacrifice fly anyway. Even if he comes down with it, they were always going to score a run. But what it does do is it keeps the bases loaded. Brad Zorn crosses the plate, and everyone moves around. Torpy to third, Roberts to second, and Hathwaite to first base.
Yeah, unfortunately for Newhold, as soon as he turned around in that circle, you lose sight of the ball and you can't pick up the exact location of it again.
We're going to have a pinch hitter coming in down here now for Manly. Turn around, it is number 28. We have numbers on the Manly reserves, and that will be Scott Closey. Have a look at their stat sheets.
Scott Clohessy?
Clohessy.
Yep,
Scott
Clohessy.
He will bat for Yu Matsuo. So Clohessy into the game now to face Ridgewell. And Ridgewell finds a strike, gets back to that outside corner again. I was wondering why he was going to come inside then to Hathwaite. He was painting the outside corner so well. And as soon as the catcher set up on that inside corner, I was a little bit concerned. And as it comes, it's another run. And Clohessy trying to bend into that one. He did his best to turn his back and wear it on the shoulder. Unfortunately for him and Manly, the pitch dropped harmlessly past. 4 runs scored here in the top of the 4th by Manly to give them a 5-0 lead on the Red Stitcher scoreboard. High chopper towards third base. It's in play. They're going to come to the plate. It's going to be dropped at the plate. A poor throw from Jack Stevenson in the dirt made it really tough. It was in amongst the legs of the runner, Torpy, and it was not an easy play in the shadows for Jake Phelps at the plate. And they come up empty again. They've rolled the dice a couple of times, the Marlins. I don't understand why he wouldn't have just taken 2 steps back, put his foot on the bag, fired a throw across to first base and taken his risks there for a double.
Absolutely. It's a real situation here. The Marlins with their backs to the wall. Manly just grinding out 1 run at a time. On each batter that comes to the plate, they're managing to get a run back off them. Manager Sean Smith comes out now to have a little chat to Brock Ridgewell. This may well be just to settle the situation down, to stop the momentum of Manly. They've got momentum. They're on a roll. They're full of confidence. What Sean Smith is doing right now is taking time out for his team to just settle, rethink, clear their mechanism, if you like, and try and regroup and start the game again. They've got to start fresh. They've got to forget the scoreboard and then start chipping away again.
I would almost, as the manager there, I'd have probably called my infield in. We've seen an error from McMaster. We've seen an error from Stevenson. Both throwing errors. Call them in as well and just have a chat to them and tell them all just to settle down a little bit. Take a deep breath. You know, there's nothing wrong. We're in the bottom half. If they've scored 5 in the top half, we can score 5 in the bottom half.
Maybe next on the change of pitcher, there is only 1 out. So he's trying to hope that Ridgewell will just settle and regroup. And the Manly bullpen moving away now. They've got pitchers warmed up, ready to go. Central Coast Marlins bullpen still active. They've got another one on the hook out there.
10th batter coming, and this is a wild pitch from Ridgewell. This will score a run too. Sliding in to home plate will be Roberts. He will score on the wild pitch, and it's getting ugly now for the Central Coast Marlins.
Wow. So no loaded bases anymore. They've got first unoccupied. That removes the double play situation effectively.
10th batter in the lineup for this inning is Gabriel Matteau.
Well, we runners at third and second now.
7-0 on the Red Stitcher scoreboard. It is now Manly leading the Central Coast Marlins.
It's a breakout. Manly putting their foot to the floor.
We said with loaded bases, nobody out. This was the opportunity. This hit hard to left field. It's up in the wind, tailing. It is foul. Couldn't quite get a read on it. I was trying to watch the ball and watch the home plate umpire. Jordan Taylor got himself in a good alignment with it. Out there was Reese Newhold trying to get around and make the catch, and I just wasn't sure where it quite came down. The home plate umpire, Jordan Taylor, was right on the line, watched it come down, called it foul by only inches. That had a bounce down into the corner. It certainly would have scored 2 more.
Just a long strike, Cam. Long strike.
At the end of the day, that is all it is. And I think, was it Gabriel Matau that put it in the bullpen down there last time he came up for the ground rule double?
Yep, he certainly did. It's one hopper over the fence, almost identical location-wise.
I'm just trying to think. Yeah, exactly. He
Ground
had a
rule
double, and
yep,
then Adam
just
O'Neill
7.
had the double that Mitchell Pearce couldn't see.
Yeah, it was Matto that went over the fence last time. We were talking about how deep it could have gone had the fence still been the 8-foot size that it used to be 2 years ago.
Swing and a miss from Matau.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
And that's 2 balls, 2 strikes now on Gabriel Matau. 1 out, loaded bases still for Manly. They have 2, 4, 6 across the plate here in this top of the 4th inning.
That's Matto's second appearance in the 4th inning.
Correct. He's the 10th batter, and there will be at least 1 more. So, unless a double play is hit, of course. But Adam O'Neill in the on-deck circle for his second at-bat of the inning. Matto waits. The full count pitch. It's swung on, fouled off. He stays alive.
Check swing on that one, really, from Matto.
Count stays full. There is an open base at first base. Runners only at second and third. So Matto waits. Payoff pitch is low and in the dirt, and that will load them up again. So we will go back to loaded bases with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. 6 runs across the plate. It is 7-0 that Manly lead the Marlins on the Red Stitches scoreboard. And just watching down to the bullpen, messages have been sent down there. So I'd say this will be the last batter one way or another for Mr. Ridgewell, as the messages are being run down to make sure that the relief pitches are warm, which they are. And it will be very interesting to see how much leeway Sean Smith gives to Ridgewell. This one is flared out into right field. It's tailing into the bullpen, and it will land in the bullpen out of play. Again, for a long strike. Looks like it might have been, I was going to say, I thought it might have been a broken bat. I saw somebody rushing to the bullpen, to the dugout, sorry, but it was for some baseballs for Jordan Taylor to be able to throw back to the pitcher. That's all it was. And so we will set up again. No balls, 1 strike on Adam O'Neill. 1 out and the bases loaded again for Manly. So the pressure doesn't stop for the Marlins here in the second grade grand final. O'Neill allows one that to pass. And again, Ridgewell has painted that outside corner so well. I don't know why they go away from it. You'd just be sitting out there all day and making Manly swing at the pitches on that outside edge, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you absolutely would. O'Neill is the 11th batter through the plate here in this top of the 4th innings. His second appearance in the 4th innings as well. It's getting very deep into this for the Marlins, and they need to be able to shut it down. He needs a ground ball to turn a double play straight away to shut down the attack. Big attack from the Manly Eagles.
Again, finds that outside corner, but too high on that occasion. And that will be the first ball on O'Neill. I believe it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes on Adam O'Neill. Ridgewell needs something to happen here. Looks for a curveball, loses it well inside. We've got that as 2-2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. We've lost our scoreboard operator at the moment here at Blacktown. But 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away.
Adam Brown has actually just gone down to the Manly bullpen to warm his shoulder up.
Now, gentlemen, it's
been a long break.
Just checking, I have to check through the rules. Is there a run differential rule in the semi-final, grand final series? We're under the impression that there is not a run differential rule in grand final once the postseason starts.
We'll get the research department involved and we will clarify.
Obviously having some computer problems, but we will continue with it. The full count pitch is low and outside. Ball 4 on O'Neill. and that will walk in a run. Haithwaite crosses the plate. Add another one to the list. That'll bring Clohessy to third, Matto to second, O'Neill to first, and make that 8-0. 8-0, Manly lead. Who'd have seen that happening at the start of the inning?
Yeah, certainly not I.
This one hit hard, flared into shallow right. The sun going to be a problem. Going around, Rogers makes a good catch, has a look around at what he can do. There's nothing much happening. Fires it to home plate, and an all-important second out for the Marlins. They finally get it, and it happens to be Trent Nickel on the fly to second base. Not quite deep enough for a sacrifice, but it created plenty of problems whilst it sat up there in the sun here at Blacktown for Daniel Rogers, who did a great job to get around and collect that one.
Yeah, because we made the comments last night and again yesterday afternoon, because there's the light coming in the afternoon. It sort of causes a few issues, just the way that the diamond is orientated.
This diamond sort of sits looking sort of a little bit to the northeast, doesn't it? So
yeah.
It sort of sits a little bit to off the genuine east-west, so that you would be. It sort of sits on a northeast looking as out from the plate. You're looking a little bit to the northeast. A swing and a miss from Zorn. So as that sun does set, especially late in the summer, or now into the autumn, as the daylight saving goes, the sun gets a little bit further down that way and makes it a little bit tougher for especially the middle infielders and the centre fielder. Zorn swings, misses, goes down on consecutive strikes. Ridgewell gets his way out of trouble, but not before the damage was done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4,
I
5,
got 7.
6, 7 for the inning.
7 for the inning, 8 in total.
And 8 in total will make it 8-0 on the Red Stitches scoreboard, and we're only halfway through the fourth inning.
And Chris,
so, wow.
he is actually right with your comments, mate. Chasing runners to stop a run, and then unfortunately, it ended up giving up 4 runs.
Well, on a couple of occasions, we saw...
It was more than once, and it was done.
Well, we saw that Daniel McMasters, he tried to go to home plate to get the force. He threw it away. We saw Stevenson try to go to home plate to get the force. He threw it away. And a couple of other times, just you're not taking the easy option.
But it's also, as we've made mention before throughout the broadcast, you're talking. You've got young guys that are in both of these teams, and from there, being the young guys, you're in a grand final. You've got emotions, charged. Anything can happen, and sometimes your brain just doesn't quite click into the right gear that it should be.
Oh, it's the pressure of that grand final. You're seeing the runs slowly mount up against you, and you think, I've got to stop
I've got to do this. I've got to do something else.
I've got to stop the runs coming in. I'm going to go to home plate rather than give up the run and turn the double play, like McMaster should have done very early on in the inning, which is unfortunate for the Marlins. But they are in the bottom half of the inning, and anything Manly can do, maybe the Marlins can do as well.
Yeah, and there's no need to panic for the Marlins, and hopefully that they're not, because we're only in the bottom of the fourth innings, and there is the expectation to go at least 9.
Well, it is a 9-inning game, and
but you made asked the question before about the run differential. I don't believe there is
no.
Given that it is a grand final and a premiership on the line. So, I believe that the rules are slightly laxed there. So you're actually getting true baseball. And considering that most of the guys here, they actually filter in between first and second grade, which is a regulation baseball.
Correct. But just throwing that one up because it was getting to that stage at 8-0. Where if that was a run differential rule after 7, it might have been an early finish.
That's it.
In this game.
I think we're up to Jake Phelps leading off.
Jake Phelps will lead off for the Marlins.
Yep. There we go. So we've got Jake Phelps in the batting box for the Marlins, the catcher.
Adam Brown still on the mound for Manly. And the first pitch in there for a called strike. So that will give Manly all sorts of confidence going forward. A massive fourth inning for them. See how the Marlins bounce back as they get set here in the bottom of the fourth. Brown misses up and away with that next pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jake Phelps needs to lead this team. He has been their leader all season long. He is their coach. He does look after this team. Needs to get something going for them, get himself up on base. 3 balls and 1 strike I have now on Phelps. As he calls time. A little bit difficult for the batters at this time of day as well. P-Mac, we talk about difficult for the fielders in the sun, but the batters, as you can see on that picture there, are just standing right at the start of the shadow. So in about another 10 minutes, the entire, as he swings and misses to make it 3 and 2, in about another 10 minutes time, that whole dirt section in front of the batter will be in shadow. And it will make it very difficult for the pitch coming from light to dark for them to be able to make sure that they get a good focus on it and get a good swing away. Curveball from Brown, fouled off.
And bounces around. Out of play. And then everybody gets resets once again. And 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jake Phelps.
Thought he might have had a full count, but I'll go with the scoreboard at the moment, 2 and 2.
Trust me, I saw the umpire's
fingers.
fingers.
Okay, fair enough. I was looking at the
I was looking at the screen.
We need more alerts, people.
That's it. We do need more alerts. There's not enough alerts in this world.
You're very alert.
I'm alert. And happy to be alert.
So a full count pitch on its way. Can Jake Phelps get something going for the Marlins? He will. He'll get a base on ball, so they will get a lead off aboard. Only the second time today they've got their lead off aboard. The last time they did, their lead off got caught in a rundown, got picked off and run down. So can the Marlins now manufacture something? Just a run or 2 here to give them a bit of a lift.
They need to be very methodical with what they do. Coach Smith had to talk to them before they went out here just to settle them, organise them. They have to be surgically methodical. They have to be very...
Masters goes after this, flies it into right field. Getting around there will be Matteau. He will catch it just in fair territory. And that will be a 1-pitch fly to right field for Dylan McMaster. Not what you needed.
And we've just got a cheerio to Alex Pott, who, as you make mention of Matteau, he's listing Matteau for MVP for this afternoon.
Well, so far he's 1 from 1, a double and 2 walks, so he's doing okay on the offensive side of things and very solid defensively as well. So he would certainly be in the calculations as Brown fires to first base to see whether or not he can find Phelps asleep. Phelps gets back to the bag comfortably. To the batter's box now, Reese Newhold. Newhold, a little chopper. It's going to be in fair territory. It's going to be a tough play for the catcher. The catcher in the dirt. Does he have control of it? No, he doesn't. It was going to be a tough play. Hathwaite had to throw it up to Roberts. It was on the bounce to Roberts. It bounced up out of his glove, and it was just going to be a case of did he get control back before the runner hit the bag?
Yeah.
And in the opinion of first base umpire Matt Saunders, the answer to that question was no. He didn't get a grasp on it before Newhold hit the bag, and Newhold safe at first on what would probably be scored a wild throw on the catcher.
On my stop frame replay cam in slow-mo, I reckon the ball was in the air between hand and hand.
Oh, absolutely.
When the runner stepped over it had hit Roberts' hand and popped up in the air, and that's where it stayed while the runner went over first base.
If it stays in his glove, if he digs it out, that certainly was an out. But because it bumped out of the glove, he just couldn't get the bare hand on it in time. This is another comebacker. It's going to be a tough play at second base. They're going to look for a double, are they? They'll go to second. And the shortstop for the first part of it, they'll throw to first base. No joy there. So Newhold will be out on the force, on the 4-6 force for the second out. Phelps will advance to third base. Day aboard, courtesy of the fielder's choice. Again going after the first pitch of Adam Brown. Yep. So I don't know whether Sean Smith told him to get out there and be a little bit more aggressive, try and take some of this game back. But we've seen 3 first pitch swings in a row from the Marlins. This one low and outside on the first pitch to Mitchell Phelps.
Runners on the corners, the designated hitter at the plate.
I think it might be just be a change of strategies because what they've originally gone in, they've had to adjust to a different game plan, Cam.
You're well behind, so you may as well get out there and get aggressive and try and hit Adam Brown off the mound. This one's flared into centre field. Adam O'Neill, he's having troubles with the sun. Oh, there was a bit of a stutter step. He lost it. He certainly lost it. You've only got to look at the body language to know that Adam O'Neill had no idea where that one was, but he gets it back in the glove in the end, and that's all that matters. He makes the catch on Phelps. The third out is recorded here in the 4th inning, And we are through 4 completed innings here at Blacktown International Sports Park in the second grade Baseball New South Wales State League Grand Final. The Manly Eagles, they lead the Central Coast Marlins on the Red Stitches scoreboard by 8-0 after 4 completed innings.
And welcome back to the grand final action here at Blacktown International Sports Park, where you're watching the State League Baseball New South Wales second grade grand final championship game between the Manly Eagles and the Central Coast Marlins. We go to the top of the 5th inning now with Aidan Torpey leading off for Manly. High fly ball to the right side. This will be an easy out for Chase Khan out there on the right field side for the Marlins. So 1 up, 1 down. Torpey out on a fly ball to position 9 in right field. 1 out. And that will bring to the plate Ashley Roberts, the first baseman.
They really just need a fairly simple inning, don't they, the Marlins? Just a 3 up or a 4 up inning. That would be music to their ears to be able to get out of there with maybe 3 or 4 batters only coming past the plate.
Absolutely. The previous inning, they put 12 through the plate.
And go again.
12 batters in the 4th innings the pitchers had to face. Now we've got 1 up, 1 down all of a sudden. That will help the enthusiasm of the Central Coast Marlins. Ashley Roberts, 4th batter in the starting lineup for Manly. Up there now, takes a big hack at that one. So Roberts now behind 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes on Roberts. And it was Aidan Torpey, I think, hit the first pitch to the right field side. High fly ball for the first out. And this one goes way outside there, drifting out from the pitcher. For the Central Coast Marlins, Ashley Roberts settles back in again now. Ridgewell still on the mound there for the Marlins. We did see them having somebody warming up still in the bullpen. There is a relief pitcher getting ready. But Coach Sean Smith going to trust Ridgewell to try and get a quick turnaround here in the 5th inning. Top of 5, looking for short dig.
Yeah, number 44 doing the warming up, and unfortunately we don't have numbers on the lineup sheet for the Marlins.
And Roberts down on strikes. 2 up, 2 down now. Manly all of a sudden.
So Ridgewell has been throwing those pitches on that outside corner so well. And as I said, I didn't understand why he didn't just stay there. A couple of times he came to the inside corner and just got hammered.
It's quite amazing the change that the 4th inning went so deep on the Marlins. And now we've got 2 up, 2 down straight away in the top of the 5th inning.
Just getting into that dugout and just regathering yourself and recouping. High fly ball to left field.
Good sell. Lifts one up to the left side. It's going to be 3 up, 3 down. Left fielder out there, Reece Newhold, makes no mistake there and gets a 3rd out there for the Marlins on a fly ball to position and left field side, position 7. So it's 3 up, 3 down. All of a sudden, Manly turn around and they're in the field yet again.
So a nice little confidence booster that for the Marlins. That'll get their spirits a little bit higher than they have been. Now they need to do something with the sticks when they come back in this bottom half of the fourth inning.
And welcome back to this second grade grand final in State League Baseball New South Wales. And this is the championship game. This is the one that ends the season for the second grade competition. Adam Brown remains on the mound for Manly in this change of inning. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Brown coming back for his fifth inning of work, quite obviously. The lead-off for the Central Coast Marlins is their third baseman, Jack Stevenson. Stevenson in there now, and a good top half of the inning. Ground ball goes straight to second baseman Goodsell. Goodsell to Roberts at first base. They bring up that regulation ground ball out on the 4-3 play, and that is Stevenson, the first out now. One up, one down, the Central Coast Marlins just trying to get something going there. They weren't able to do that. And now we go to the centre fielder for the Marlins, Mitchell Pearce. Mitchell Pearce with a set of wheels. Can he get something started here? Try and get some momentum again for the Marlins. As I said, the top half of the innings was good to them. It was 3 up, 3 down. Aidan Torpy in on the line at third base, just in case. In very close possibility of Pearce dropping down a bunt, but highly unlikely, I would say, at this stage. Pearce, the ninth batter in the starting lineup for the Coast. Bottom of the fifth inning. Still a lot of baseball left in this game. Manly had a breakout inning in the top of the fourth. Pearce gets one going. Ground ball again, hops into the glove of Goodsell. Goodsell across to Roberts again in a repeat play. 4-3 ground ball out to the second baseman. And now the Central Coast Marlins go 2 up and 2 down. Both hitting to the right side, second base. Goodsell and Roberts getting all the work to do. That will take us back to the top of the order through Daniel Rogers. Second baseman for the Marlins. See if he can get it going now. Big swing and a miss. Nice curveball there from Adam Brown. Dropping it down the outside. Roberts has a little bit of a smile as he circles the batter's box before stepping back into the left-handed side. Now wrong and out of the hand of Adam Brown, as you saw on screen. High, wide and handsome. Deep on the right side in right field on the left-handed batter. Left fielder comes in a little closer for the opposite field hit, if there is one. Rogers waiting for this next pitch from Brown. Brown missing inside. The Red Stitches scoreboard showing Manly leading this game by 8 runs to 0. Bottom of 5. Marlins with opportunity, pitching down low out of the zone. Missing the bottom half there is Brown. Three-one count now. 3 balls, 1 strike. Brown pitching to Rogers. The crowd has gone a little bit quiet. Rogers fouls one off over the back of the grandstand on the third base side here at Blue Sox Stadium. This game, of course, will be followed at 5:30 by Game 2 of the first grade Grand Final Championship Series. Vikings from Canterbury versus the Blacktown Workers. 5:30 first pitch. Almost a comeback. It goes over the mound. Cut off by Zorn at second base. Good sliding cut off there from Bradley Zorn. Stops the ball getting to the outfield, and Daniel Rogers hustles up the line to first base. They get a runner on now. Rogers, as the leadoff, does start something off here for the Marlins.
Yeah, it looks like Brad Zorn actually did himself a little bit of an injury on the slide going there, Harrow.
He's pretty tough little character, though, I can tell you. He'll just brush that off. Certainly hit that diamond sand material very hard. Now lifts his pants leg up to pull his socks up. Just dusting it off a little bit. That's what a shortstop does. Manager visit there to Adam Brown, just checking that he's okay.
Probably has a pitch count for him.
I would say so. He's probably just letting him know, saying you'll get maybe one more batter. See if you can finish this one off. A runner at first, Daniel Rogers with a single to 6. Shortstop, straight through the middle though. Brown did the right thing on the mound and got out of the way of that ball. Very often a pitcher will get involved in a comebacker and knock the ball away from the infield. Chase Khan at the plate.
Manly sending a runner up to the bullpen. They've got 2 players up there throwing, Luke Brown and Ben Logue.
No doubt the decision's been made on who's in. Yes, it has. Right-hander, I would suspect.
Looks like he signalled to the right-hander. Only problem
They're
is,
both lefties.
I was going to say the only problem is that both blokes throwing in the bullpen are left-handed.
Maybe it was to hurry up, keep warming up, warm up hard.
He put his right hand up and gave it a wave. That usually signals that you want the right-hander out of the pen, but there's no right-hander in the pen.
That's the way to deceive a commentary team. Pick-off attempt at first, safe.
Oh, that's gold.
Rogers down and dirty.
Want to know how to keep an idiot in suspense? I'll tell you later.
I'll tell you later.
Hilarious.
Absolute gold.
Oh, dear. Get serious about your warm-up, guys. Right-handed coach, left-handed pitchers. It's just all we need.
Maybe he was just signalling to the right side of the bullpen.
Maybe not.
Maybe
I'm looking away right now, Cam. Chase Khan still at the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2-1 the count now. Can Brown offer him something up to put into play? 1 more out to get for Manly. 2 out. First 2 batters up, Stevenson and Pearce out on ground balls to second base.
Manly have just got to limit the damage. Even if they were to give up a run and inning from here on in, they win and win comfortably. They've just got to limit the damage and limit the potential to damage.
It's too early to get too excited. It is only the bottom of the 5th in what is a 9-inning game. Brown missing high and outside. All managers' calls now. It's also pitch count on Adam Brown. This may well be his final batter of the game. There's been 1 manager's visit thus far. Chase Khan takes out for a breath, regroups, steps back into the plate and settles himself as he digs in. Brown, nice, steady control. And releases that pitch for a big strikeout on Khan. Just gets him swinging at it flat and hard. But Brown finishes off with a big K2 on Chase Khan to bring up the third out in the bottom of the 5th inning. So after 5 innings completed here at Blacktown International Sports Park in the 2nd grade championship game of State League Baseball, New South Wales, on the Red Stitches scoreboard, it reads Manly 8, Central Coast 0. And welcome back to the action at Blacktown International Sports Park, where Manly head to the top of the 6th inning. Leading off, Brendan Haythwaite, the catcher. And it appears that Brock Ridgewell returns to the mound. He came in at the top of the 4th inning. Number 21, still out there on the hill, plying his trade as Haythwaite stands in the batter's box.
Hasn't pitched too bad, Ridgewell. He came into the game in an awkward situation and hasn't pitched too bad. As long as he's working that outside corner, he's looked pretty decent working that outside corner over.
I think the first 2 runs when he did come into pitch were, those runs were not against him. That one gets through first base side. Hard hit ball from Haythwaite. Does an excellent job. And that is such a well hit ball. First baseman Jack Day couldn't get to that one. It went under him. It was a hard hit ball from Haythwaite. Drives it up the right side. So Haythwaite gets on first base with a single to the right side, position 9. And that is a Manly leadoff on base again. And Scott Clohessy, I believe, will be coming to the plate.
No, another change for Manly.
It's not Clohessy, it's number 70.
Which is, as I look on our sheets here, Shuhei Ariyama.
Aha. Shuhei Ariyama. Shuhei Ariyama at the plate. Thank you, Cam. Number 70 on his back. Maybe Clohessy's out there somewhere in another position, I'm not sure. Ariyama fouls the first pitch off.
This is their DH position, so I'd say they're just going to rotate some players through this position.
Okay. So
in fact, you're right. No, it's their left field position, isn't it? Yeah.
Left fielders, yep. So Leo Matsuo, Matsuo, came out of the game to replace by Scott Clohessy. Clohessy, it appears, is out now. And Shuhei Ariyama is in. There's top of 4 for that change, top of 6 for this change for Ariyama. Giving the players that have plied their trade in 2nd grade during the year and helped the club get to where it is in this grade, giving them an opportunity in the grand final at least to appear. Batting .259 on the season is Ariyama. Takes a swing there. Ridgewell has certainly got him swinging. 2-2 count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Ariyama. And Ariyama gets ground ball, gets it up the third base side. They're looking for a double play and puts the ball down, Stevenson. He just couldn't find the handle on it, got it into his glove, took it out, dropped it, picked it up again, and by then the runners were already there. Haythwaite stands safely at second, and Ariyama now safely at first base with, I guess we'll have to call it an E5.
Oh, it has to be.
From Jack Stevenson. He had the ball in his glove and just didn't grip it. It fell out again down on the ground. He'll be the most disappointed player on the park at the moment. Let's hope he just recovers from that.
It has to be an E5. If he picks that up and just flicks it across to second base, he gets a comfortable out. And as a result of that, these errors have really hurt the Marlins. We saw that the last time they made a couple of errors, Manly running 7 runs. So let's hope it's not as bad as that. Little foul tip getting right on the knee of Jake Phelps behind the plate. And
that hurts.
Jordan Taylor will do the right thing. He'll just head out to the mound with the baseball, give him time, and one of the Marlins assistant coaches is going to come out and just make sure that Jake Phelps is okay.
Yeah, it's all bone under there. That may well be Coach Pearce.
Oh, it might be shoulder. Okay.
Yeah.
Just by the way
That's
he's stretching it, I'd say it's got him on the bicep or the shoulder.
It'll be bone on bone, whatever it is. That's for sure. Gabriel Matto is at the plate, the right fielder. He's having a chat to catcher as well, to Jake Phelps.
The Matto for MVP chant still going out. We shall see how that works out.
Well, we sort of make our decisions here and pass them on if need be, if requested.
Has had a pretty decent game though. No question about that.
Missing outside that time is Ridgewell.
Interesting to see that some of the Manly players, are certainly this innings, will be bringing up their 5th at bat in the grand final, whilst all of the Marlins have had only 2 and 1 or 2. Test 1 2, test 1 2, 1 2 1 2. Blacktown International Sports Park. We're back. Yep, we're back. We're just very low on our volumes, but we're back. Maybe we need to. Yep, there we go. Seems like we have our audio back.
Do have the audio back recharged, and we are still in the top of the 6th inning. At the plate, it is Trent Nicol, the number 25 and designated hitter for this game. Trent Nicol at the plate right now.
I guess you call that a localised power outage.
It was in the short interruption of broadcast there. We still have 2 runners on. Haythwaite standing at second, Shuey Ariyama at first base. But since then we've had Gabriel Matto fly out to left field side, as did Adam O'Neill fly out to left field side, both to position 7. And now we have a pop-up behind home plate from Trent Nicol, and is the catcher, Jake Phelps, taking that catch in foul territory. So Trent Nicol out on a foul fly ball to position 2, catcher, and that brings up the 3rd out here in the top of the 6th inning. Manly do not add to their scoreline. They leave 2 runners stranded. through the top half of the 6th inning. And on the Red Stitches scoreboard, the scoreline reads Manly 8 runs over Central Coast Marlins, still no runs.
And welcome back to Blacktown International Sports Park. The Summer of Baseball proudly brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia, bringing you the grand final of second grade in the New South Wales State Baseball League competition. It is the Manly Eagles versus the Central Coast Marlins, and it is all the Eagles as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is 8-0 on the Red Stitches scoreboard. As box for the Marlins, Jake Phelps fouls one off to go 1-1 now against Adam Brown, still on the mound for the Eagles. Been there since the start of the day, so he's doing well, hanging in there as long as he can.
Yeah, I thought he was actually going to be replaced after that dig, Cam.
I kept a close eye on him going into the dugout, and he went to his bag. I wasn't sure whether he was putting his gear away and putting his jacket on. It was just out of our line of vision, but certainly he is back on the mound now, and he's probably going to finish up as far as he can.
Yeah, fair call.
Before his pitch count is limited, and we'll go to, what was it, 125 in the New South Wales leagues. So this one lined into left field by Jake Phelps. Nice drive there to get him aboard. Single to 7, his first base hit of the day, and by our very unofficial counts, I've only got the 3rd hit of the day for the Marlins, and that has been one of their big problems.
That's correct, Cam. It is only 3 hits.
They just haven't been able to mount any offense to get themselves back in this game. They gave up one big inning. That was all it was. A 7-inning, 4th inning for Manly. And the Central Coast haven't been able just to grind their way back into it. Phelps aboard now, however, as Dylan McMaster takes the first pitch low for a ball.
Yeah, because on the other side at Manly have 8 runs off 8 hits, and Marlins 3 hits only within the 6 digs.
So McMasters waits on the next pitch from Brown, swings and misses, and the count to 1-1. Manly were the team to beat all season long in second grade. They had an 11-1-2 record in their 14 games. As a called strike now on McMasters, takes the count to 1-2 strikes. They were the minor premiers by some 3 or 4 games, clear comfortably. And on the back of that, they were favourites to win the competition. They were beaten in the first qualifying final by this Central Coast Marlins team. Had to do it the tough way. They had to come back again next week, win the game against Borkham Hills, and then that advanced them into the grand final back here today.
And it was an unexpected loss to the Central Coast Marlins, Cam.
Well, yeah, as I said, they were 11 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws on their regular season. So they lost 1 game all season long. Then they lost that qualifying final, and that might have put a little bit of a spark into them as a well-hit ball to left field going back out there. Not going to get anywhere near it is the replacement out there is Ariyama. He'll have to play it off the wall. They're going to hold the runner at third. That is Phelps. It will be a stand-up double for McMaster's out to the left field. Phelps will advance to third. Ariyama, he never looked likely. That ball was hit well too good for him. Straight off the bat, he was backpedaling, going towards the warning track, trying to work out where it was going to land.
There was only one bounce into the bottom of the fence, Cam.
And they had to be lucky. It was almost into one of the signs out there that's hanging down off the fence. That if it rolled into that, ball could have easily gotten lost or tangled up in amongst that sign and could have gifted the Marlins a couple of runs.
So it was a good whack from McMaster. We all know that. We just saw it. It was fantastic. A big quick shout out to Glenn Murdoch. Glenn Murdoch tuned in to watch the Manly Eagles. Of course, Gleno played with 50% of these players at least that are in this lineup today.
So Newhold, the new batter for the Marlins.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Reece Newhold is out there now. 2 runners on base. Can he do something about it? Marlins trying to launch a chase here.
Back-to-back swings from Newhold. Both coming up empty. He falls behind 0-2 onto Adam Brown.
McMaster 4th in the starting lineup in hitting order. That's why he got that deep hit, and that's why he's hitting 4 as a clean-up. But there's 2 out there on base, and Marlins just need to keep this momentum going if they want to get back in touch with Manly.
Lifted into right field. It might be deep enough to score a run. The runner tags. The throw to the plate is going to be in time. Makes the tag on the head for mine, and home plate umpire Jordan Taylor agrees. Fires him out at the plate. A great throw from right field by Gabriel Matto.
There he is. What a throw. And there's the tag. Straight on the helmet of the back there of the runner charging through the line, Jake Phelps. Had to tag before he could go. That's what held him back. He had to wait for that catch.
It was at a sort of shallowish right field, but you felt it was deep enough to get Phelps across the line, but not to be. A great throw from Matto.
9-2 for the out.
9-2 for the out was enough.
And the first out was Reece Newhold on the fly ball to 9, of course. 1 out on the fly ball to right field.
An intentional walk issued up.
Jack Day.
Yep, making sure it wasn't a pinch hitter. No, they just intentional walked him. So they will intentionally walk Jack Day to get to Mitchell Phelps. Interesting.
The designated hitter.
Interesting.
We did the Phelps stats earlier.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but considering Jack Day was only batting .294 himself, to be honest, and for the day so far, he's had a drop third strike, a fielder's choice on his 2 at-bats. That was only his 3rd at-bat for the day, so it wasn't like he was, threatening to hit one out of the park, but who knows?
You never know.
They've got runners on the corners. They only need 1 more out.
Yeah, with 2 out, I thought you'd have still pitch to him. At least you could sort of pitch around him and try and draw a bag, couple of swings or something. I don't understand that logic with 2 out.
Now you've got a choice, first or second.
Well, Day originally got on with a drop third strike in the second inning, and then in the 4th inning it was a fielder's choice that he got on base. So hit that to second baseman. I'm thinking no on the appeal for the swing.
No. Yeah, just don't understand why you would intentionally walk him in that situation, but
we don't have to.
It is what it is. Exactly right.
It's been my biggest problem all my life is thinking.
We don't have to understand.
1-2 pitch on its way now to Phelps.
It just is.
Just misses inside.
Yeah. Little high, trying to get a bit more pace on that one, I think, Adam Brown. He's done a good job through this 5 2/3 innings thus far. He's just looking for that final out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Crowd very active here. They're getting vocal. They're Central Coast crowd trying to get behind their guys and rev them up a bit. The Manly crowd, they're just right behind their club as well. Glenn Murdoch, as I said, cheerio call to Glenn. Glad you're enjoying our broadcast. And Keep tuning in. The first grade game follows this game at 5:30 this afternoon. Game between the Canterbury Vikings and the Blacktown Workers. And Phelps gets on with a walk.
And there is the reason I don't understand the intentional walk. All of a sudden the bases are loaded, and with one lucky swing of the bat, they're right back in this ball game.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Cam.
I'd have pitched, just personally, I'd have pitched today and taken my chances with him.
Yep. Take the odds to getting the out on a ground ball or a fly ball anywhere.
Well, looks like there is a change.
You have another...
So, number 8.
I don't have any numbers on their reserves, unfortunately.
Okay.
On the Central Coast reserves.
Research department, that was Jack Stevenson in that position originally and playing third base. So that's the number 8 up there.
Tristan Watts.
Tristan Watts has only had one at-bat in second grade, and that was a base hit.
Possibly an under 18 or third grader. Who's been asked to play second grade once previously. Obviously, they've got all their bench players here that are eligible to play. And Watts would be a lower grade. It's made that appearance earlier in the season. Welcome to second grade, young Tristan Watts.
Well, they would love him to keep his average rolling along, wouldn't they? As I said, he's had one at-bat for one base hit.
A fresh face in the second grade team. Manly under threat.
A little bit on the inside.
Can the Marlins get something happening here in the bottom of the 6th to give themselves a little bit of hope, a little bit of a lift in energy and enthusiasm? They trail it 8-0, but loaded bases, 2 out. This one hit towards third base. Should be a fairly easy play for Torpy. He comes up, makes a good throw, and they will get themselves out of trouble. The Marlins will leave them loaded. They will add nothing here in the bottom of the 6th. And we will head to the 7th inning. Looking at the Red Stitches scoreboard with Manly leading the Central Coast by 8-0 after 6 completed innings.
And welcome back to this second grade grand final in State League Baseball New South Wales. The contest between Manly and the Central Coast Marlins. Right in front of us right here. We go to the top of the 7th. And on the Red Stitches scoreboard it reads Manly leading the Central Coast by 8 runs to 0. A big afternoon here for the Manly side. Getting 8 runs in front, 8-0, leading off here in this top of the 7th. Brad Zorn, the shortstop, who's had a very, very good game for Manly at shortstop, and he will lead off with the stick here in the top of 7.
A little bit of news, Harrow, we did get from the research department during the break in inning. There is, in fact, a run differential rule in place.
Okay. So run differential takes effect after the completion of 7 innings.
Which we're into the top of now. Just getting the new pitcher.
Pitching change. I think it's 44 by the look of it.
It is indeed number 44, but again, we have no numbers.
So we'll bring you the name of the replacement pitcher on the mound now for the Central Coast Marlins, replacing Brock Ridgewell. And Zorn at the plate now. Fastball misses outside, so walks. Brad Zorn walks for Manly. Again, the lead off on base.
Let me just check this and make sure.
So he will be on base right now.
Pretty sure it is Chet Robertson.
Okay, Chet Robertson.
Robertson.
So Chet Robertson walks his first.
No, sorry, Robinson.
Robinson. Chet Robinson walks his first batter. That's Brad Zorn. He's followed to the plate by Aidan Torpy. Torpy rips one to right field side. Zorn will turn the corner. Now he gets held by his coach at third base. So Zorn advances to second off the bat of Aidan Torpy. Torpy rips one straight away. First pitch that he sees that he likes off Chet Robinson, and that is a single to right field, position 9. And position 9 out there, Chase Khan ripped that ball back in pretty quickly as well to stop Zorn from advancing around to third. So Manly straight away on base with 2 runners in the top of the 7th inning, applying the pressure to the Central Coast Marlins. That brings to the plate Ashley Roberts, the first baseman, and the 4th batter in the lineup for the Manly Eagles. And more communications from Glenn Murdoch. Glenn happens to play in a local league with the Mavericks, and they're all blowing up all of his teammates that he got to mention on air. Well, all you have to do, boys, is send us a message.
Send us a message.
Tell us you're listening. Tell us you're watching. Good on you, Gleno. The Murdoch family, of course, long time involved in baseball across the Manly Warringah area. And of course, the boys involved deeply in representative teams. Roberts now. He gets a ground ball, a bit of a chopper to the third baseman, turns the first half of a double play, turns the second half. They get the double play there. Well done. Jack Stevenson turns the first half to Daniel Rogers.
Jack's out. Tristan Watts over there on that side of the diamond now.
Thank you, Cam.
Came in to replace Jack in the last at-bat. He went out and took his place there at third base.
Tristan Watts then. He gets the first half of the out on Aidan Torpy on the 5-4, I think it was it not?
Yeah, I believe 5-4
and then to
3,
a double play. Ashley Roberts also out. So Torpy the first out, Roberts the second out on that double play. 5-4 3. Runner Zorn is standing at third base now with 2 out. And Daniel Goodsell at the plate.
Round the horn, as they say. The 5-4 3 double play, straight round the horn.
There it is. Goodsell, the job is now up to him for the Manly Eagles. They looked potentially to gain another couple of runs there early on. Possibly not likely now with 2 out after Roberts hit into the double play. Goodsell called strike. Outside edge, nicely located there for Chet Robinson. Robinson had been in the Marlins bullpen warming up for quite some time. Comes to the plate again. Goodsell fouls it off down into home plate. Can Goodsell knock Zorn in across to the plate to get himself on base as well? set something up for the Manly Eagles. There is a run differential rule. However, you can't do that with 8 runs. You must be 10 runs in front after 7 innings or thereafter. Goodsell steps in again now after getting his signs off his third base coach. Robinson, the 1-2 pitch. Fouled off again by Goodsell, this time into his own Manly teammate's dugout. Don't forget, tune in at 5:30. Stay tuned if you like. 5:30 will be the first pitch of the first grade Game 2 grand final between the Blacktown Workers and the Canterbury Vikings. Pitch missing down low there from Robinson.
Yeah, that one was very low there, Harrow. And yeah, you're right. With the first grade game coming up after this game, we will have a break and stretch our legs and grab a drink of water.
We hope.
Yeah, we will. I'm sure there should be sufficient time. But a good game that was had last night here with Canterbury Vikings jumping out to a 1-game lead in the best of 3 series, as we just see the next pitch come through the zone and swinging away. So that's
Daniel Goodsell strikes out. That shuts down the Manly attack here in the top of the 7th inning. They leave 1 runner stranded at third base. That's Brad Zorn. They do not add to the scoreboard. So halfway through the 7th innings here from Blacktown International Sports Park in this championship game, it still is on the Red Stitches scoreboard. 8 runs Manly, no runs Central Coast. And welcome back to the 2nd grade championship game. This is the grand final between Manly and the Marlins. It's the Fish versus the Birds. Eagles over Marlins. Manly leading 8 runs to 0. A comfortable lead. However, still baseball left in this game. It is a 9-inning game. Unless Manly can get an additional 2 runs and shut the Marlins out. This game continues now. We're in the bottom of the 7th. It's up to them to get some runs back. That one gets through the hands of Daniel Goodsell. The line drive, hard ground ball to the second baseman Goodsell. It gets through his glove and goes out to the outfielder Adam O'Neill in the middle.
Through his legs. Stay down. Close your legs.
Mitchell Pearce, a well-known name in Central Coast baseball. So Pearce, he gets something started for the Central Coast Marlins. Does Goodsell get an error, or does the ball go to centre field? Did he touch it?
Poor old Jared Gallant saying if Daniel Rogers doesn't get the MVP, he'll give up baseball. Well, news for you. At the moment, he's on a team getting a hiding. So the chance of him getting an MVP is remote as a Manly management come out and take Adam Brown from the mound. It's been a great outing for Adam Brown. 7 and... No, it won't be. It'll be 7 straight innings. It won't be 7 1/3. Sorry, 6 straight innings.
Yep, 6 complete.
Has only given up 4 hits in that 6 innings. No runs at all for Adam Brown. So a great outing for Adam Brown, and has really set Manly up with a chance to get away and win this game quite comfortably in the end. So it is now up to relief pitcher. It is number 66. We thank him for that. We had him warming up before, which was
Luke Brown.
Luke Brown.
Yep. Brown to Brown.
So Adam to Luke. I would imagine that they are related.
And Adam Brown through 113 pitches, guys, just for your info. Thank you to the research department.
So he's probably going to be given an opportunity to get a very cheap inning. And then once the error was committed, that was it. We'll go out and take him from the mound and bring on
another message is coming through on the chat line, and Alex Bott, I think you might be right, mate. Maddo's doing himself a lot of favours to get himself in front.
I was going to say with the day he's had with the bat, and then the outfield assist, it's going to make it very difficult. Very difficult to run him down. There's been nothing else that's been outstanding. That apart from, of course, the start from Adam Brown, which has been outstanding. So that'll be, for me, that'll be the toss-up between the two at the moment as to which way it goes. We'll see how the rest of the game develops. There might be something incredible or sensational. Maybe the Marlins come back from nowhere, and we go the other way and give it to a Marlins player.
Who knows?
We shall see how it develops. We've still got a couple of innings to go, or 3 innings to go.
Yeah.
So I guess the management strategy there with Adam Brown returning for the bottom of the 7th innings was we'll just go one batter at a time and see how you go. If you put somebody on base, then we'll give you a breather.
Correct. It was pretty much you get a really quick, cheap innings for us, and we'll be happy with that. But unfortunately, the error from their second baseman took that away from him.
Outstanding job. He's been out there since 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's now 4:45 in the afternoon. He's done a fantastic job.
Just trying to find some statistics. I will find some statistics on Luke Brown for us.
So it's Mitchell Pearce standing at first base.
Luke Brown pitching in the under-18s competition. Had an ERA of 3.65 on 14 appearances. 12 of those were starts. So pretty much started the whole under-18 season for the Manly team. Had a 0-6 win-loss record, which isn't great, but when you consider an ERA of 3.6 and didn't win a game, that's not too bad on the whole. Pitched almost 50 innings, 49 2/3, and had a split of 20 base on balls to 77 strikeouts. So was pretty much averaging a strikeout and a half per inning.
Wow!
So is a promising young pitcher for this Manly club.
Well, he offers something up here, a little bit of sidearm in that from Brown. Certainly got some pace. As long as he's got direction and control, then we'll see. Mitchell Pearce, the runner at first for the Marlins. Central Coast, of course. They're chasing down 8 runs with 3 innings left of play to do it in. So they've gone from a style like Adam Brown's.
Well, a hard right-handed throwing starting pitching to a left-hander, so all of a sudden a different look, the other side of the pitching rubber.
And sidearm as well, Cam,
yep,
so totally different angles.
A lot of sliding type pitches or tailing fastballs, so very difficult to get after as they go away from the left-handed hitters. Probably why they brought him in to face Daniel Rogers first up, to get that lefty-on-lefty matchup first up, to get him feeling a bit more comfortable on the mound. 2 balls, 2 strikes it is on Rogers, runner at first base in the form of Pearce. Is way outside the 2-2 pitch. That'll fill the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Little bit of trivia, and not necessarily trivial, but speaking to Carol and Bruce Tippett downstairs in the grandstand, obviously Manly supporters long time. Their grandson is Brendan Haythwaite, playing catcher.
Oh, there we go.
That's their grandson, and I can tell you that his, after this pitch,
his
Brendan Haythwaite's great-grandfather was a catcher for Manly. So that's Carol's father, great-grandfather.
Yeah.
And he was a catcher at Manly, and his ashes are at home plate, under home plate at Manly's home ground.
There you go. That's why I recognise the name, Harrow.
Chase Khan in the batter's box now for the Marlins. Runners at first and second, nobody out, so the Marlins with a bit of a sniff. Trying to threaten Manly a little bit here in the bottom of the 7th inning. As Luke Brown misses outside.
Yeah, missed that by a long shot.
So Manly now will have to defend this, 2 runners on. They won't want anything to cross. They'll obviously be trying to shut the Marlins out.
There's another Manly one, the fellow that's got on the chat line. And, yeah, well and truly you're a Manly player, Andrew. So it's good afternoon to Andrew McAlpine. So, yes, it certainly was. Back in the days of Sean, well, and as you know, Harrow, so myself and Les, when we were playing, Andrew was one of our teammates.
Yeah, that's before my time.
Yeah, good on you.
P-Mac.
We're not that old.
I was still in with the juniors at that stage.
We're not that old.
No, Andrew's been there and thereabouts playing ball for quite a long time, and certainly was a part of the resurgence of Manly back in the day.
Now he's young blokes playing baseball as well up there on the Central Coast.
Lots of them out there.
As runner steals third.
Yeah, pitch in the dirt. Mitchell Pearce decides to head to third base. Daniel Rogers waits at first. He will probably go on the next pitch now that it's a full count. So Chase can gets it to a full count. If they can load the bases here with nobody out, there's a real opportunity on the change of pitcher for the Marlins to get themselves back into it. The runners are on the corners at the moment. Full count pitch from Brown is inside. He will walk Khan and load him up with nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. So you Marlin fans, stick to the stream. They are a chance here. They get to the meat of their order. Phelps and McMasters are the due-ups.
Loaded bases, nobody out. They get to the meat of their order, as you just said, Cam. Danger time.
That's going to bring a pitcher's or a coaching visit to the mound.
There's an 8-run lead, but that can be whittled down with 1 hit.
And Harrow, just another bit of your Manly trivia. His great uncle, Alan Clifford, was also in the Manly. Just getting all of this information.
Of course it is. Of course it is. There is heritage at the Manly Baseball Club.
That's why we love having all of our listeners and viewers just chatting away there, whether it be on the live chat section on YouTube or whether they send us SMSs or Twitters or tweets.
Tweeters.
The 50th anniversary of the Manly Club was quite some years ago. So they've well and truly got a lot of heritage there, and it's good to see that the children of the parents and the grandparents are coming through and playing the game now. And that knowledge from those parents is being passed on as well. Jake Phelps steps in. Loaded bases. Opportunity knocks for the Marlins. Can they convert?
Oh, do they need their skipper to come up and strong for them now, the Marlins? About a base hit down the right field line that scores a couple and puts them right back into this ball game.
That's what they'll be looking for. 1 hit can get them 4 and halve the lead. As that one gets fouled off back up onto the roof of the grandstand where the broadcast box is. We've got one of the best seats in the house. Red Stitches Baseball and Softball Supplies supporting our broadcast this weekend through yesterday and today. Phelps does get bat to ball, drives it out to the left field side, chasing it down is Ariyama. Ariyama gets it back in, but not until after a run is scored. First run of the game, Mitchell Pearce crosses for the Central Coast Marlins after getting on through an error at second base. So the Marlins do some damage to the scoreboard, getting 1. Daniel Rogers advances to third base. Chase Khan will stand at second base, and safely at first base, Jake Phelps with a single to position 7 left field.
But still the bases are loaded. Still there is nobody out. So basically batter by batter now for the Marlins. This next batter, if he can find a way to squeeze himself on base, they get another one back. And then from there, they can put some real pressure on. This one is fouled into the grandstand and down amongst the fans sitting down behind home plate there on the concrete.
For whom the bell tolls.
And Harrow, here's someone that you should and you do know, Matt Loff, and he's actually just watching from Hong Kong. And he says, good to hear your voice, Coach.
Good on you, Matty. Thank you very much for the shout-out.
Hit by pitch, another run in for the Marlins.
There we go.
Look out, Marlins fans. They are on the way back.
That's Dylan McMaster that gets hit by a pitch ball. They cross for another run.
The fish are swimming home.
6-run lead for the Manly Eagles.
At 8-0, that is looking shaky. It's now 8-2.
Matty.
Loaded bases, nobody out.
Matty Luff in Japan. I often see a few Facebook posts from Matty Luff. Congratulations on family and everything, Matt. Good to see you guys doing really well. Of course, I was sort of a coach in the under-18s at Manly for a year. Matty, you could have a laugh about that. It was a funny sort of a year. Not successful,
that will
but
be
it
all
was
she
a
wrote
funny
for
sort
Luke
of
Brown.
a year.
Luke Brown has been taken from the mound.
Yep.
I would have thought so. It's
Absolutely.
no good taking any risks this close to the back end of the game. So Luke Brown's day is done.
Number 21 for Manly, which is Micah Endo.
Massa?
Might be Massa.
I think it's Massa Endo.
If I put my glasses on, it will be Massa Endo.
Yeah. You know that, PMAC, because we've broadcast Massa Endo's name previously.
Hence why when you made mention of it, that's why I thought it was Massa.
So Luke Brown, that is, leaves the game in the bottom of the 7th inning with none out.
Massa is the Manly reliever of choice. Had 4 appearances in second grade this year, ERA of .61. On his 14.2 innings pitched, only giving up the 1 earned run in all of his relief. 1 walk and 17 strikeouts in those 14 innings.
Well, this is where the depth of a bullpen really digs in, doesn't it? Manly have got another player in the bullpen ready to back up as well. And going from Adam Brown to Luke Brown, we've seen Luke Brown has now got 5 runners on base. 2 of those have scored. There are 3 on base, 2 across the plate. So the lead is now a 6-run lead instead of an 8-run lead, which was quite comfortable.
Massa Endo also appearing in first grade this year on several occasions for the Manly Eagles with a 2.3 ERA up there on 11 inning pitched. So having a pretty good season out for the Manly Eagles, and the fact that he has qualified himself for this second grade grand final seems to think that it's going to be a tough task to get at Massa Endo to get back these 6 runs, although they have loaded bases with nobody out. So if Endo doesn't start strongly, then he could find himself giving up 1 or 2 runs very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely, it doesn't take much. Reece Newhold steps in for the Marlins. Loaded bases, Newhold at the plate. Gets the outside edge. Nice pitching from Endo. Massa Endo, number 21, comes into the game here. Bottom of the 7th inning with none out. Endo comes from low down, way outside. Change of catcher as well. Number 27 at catcher for Manly. It's not Brendan Hathwaite.
No, I was just looking at that when the
It will be
centre field shot.
Kazu Zameda Kazu. Just check the spelling that. Fly ball, pop up down first base side. Ashley Roberts takes that catch. Probably in fair territory off rebound. Fly ball to position 3. That brings up the first out.
No, that should be Day.
That is...
Jack Day to the plate. Yep.
Kazu. Kazu obviously catching They work together a lot and they keep that combination. They know their signs, know what to expect from each other. Ground ball goes to Goodsell at second base. Can he turn the double? No, he cannot. But he takes the out at first base just to make sure of it. Good decision. That was Jack Day out at first on a 4-3 play. Another run does cross though. Chase Khan crosses for the Marlins. But there are now 2 out here with Jack Day grounding out to second baseman Daniel Goodsell. And this will be Mitchell Phelps digging in. No, it's a change. Pinch hitter, 37. To replace Mitchell Phelps.
Oh, we don't have the numbers. We
don't have any numbers.
So we'll wait on that one. Runners on at third base. Jake Phelps at second base.
Luke
Dylan
Kovac.
McMaster.
Luke Kovac is the pinch hitter.
So Luke Kovac gets an opportunity. Kovac with the opportunity. First base unoccupied. Runners at second and third. And that is Phelps and McMaster. 3 runs across the plate now. Manly trying to defend this here. We're in the bottom of the 7th innings. There's still 2 innings to go after this. Could be a long end to the game. We're just coming up to 5 o'clock here in Sydney. So the start of first grade may well be delayed a little with 2 more innings to play in the second grade grand final.
Absolutely.
Kovac leaves that one alone as Endo goes way outside again. Catcher Kazu. Maeda Kazu. Putting the signs down, working with his pitcher. Checks the runners and comes to the plate. Missing up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. 2-2 the count, the 2-2 pitch coming. There's 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Tension builds in this game as the gap gets narrowed. Ball goes into play, straight back to Endo, and they get the 3rd out. Endo to his first baseman, Roberts. That's a 1-3 out on a ground ball back to the pitcher, and it's Luke Kovac that's out on that 1-3. So we now have 3 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning, not until after the Marlins start their scoring off. They got 3 important runs in that bottom of the 7th inning. The scoreboard now on the Red Stitches scoreboard is now Manly 8, Central Coast 3 runs. And welcome back to the second grade grand final of the championship game. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Very, very close towards the back end of the game here, and the Marlins have started their scoring. It's 8-3 now, a 5-run difference between Manly and the Marlins. Ground ball now, straight down the line to third baseman. Missed at first base. First baseman cannot get it. And the lead-off there was not Brendan Haythwaite. It was
Kuzumeda.
Yeah, it was. Maeda Kazu. Came into the game at catcher to catch for Endo, and Kazu it is now at first base. So Manly start their account again here in the top of the 8th inning, putting pressure back onto the Marlins. Maeda Kazu stands safely at first, has got a pair of wheels as we saw him charging up that first base line. And that was a wild throw that put him up there.
And that batter looks like it's Shui.
Yep, that's Ariyama.
Ariyama.
Yep, left fielder. So Ariyama with a 70 on his back. He'll be looking to move Maeda Kazu around at least. Put some pressure back onto the Marlins. They've narrowed the gap from 8 runs to 5 runs. Pitcher out there, Chet Robinson, still there for the Central Coast. He only came in the last inning and has tidied up the situation for the Marlins somewhat. Out there to slow down the scoring of the Manly Eagles side. So Ariyama, it's up to him now to step up, do the job. It's high, fly ball, right field side, will go foul.
Yeah, it's out on Entrance Road.
Activity in the Marlins bullpen once again.
At this stage of the game, yeah, they'll always have somebody up warm.
Manly
just
likewise.
in case. Yep.
Both getting their arms ready. We're in the top of the 8th innings. A 9-inning game to a decision. Ariyama launches one to second base, stays down. Will they get the double play? Yes,
Yeah,
they will. They turn the double
Absolutely.
play neatly there. 4-6-3, a double play on that one. 4-6-3 are the numbers. Second baseman Daniel Rogers getting it to Dylan McMaster and then across to the first baseman,
Jack
which
Day.
is not Jack Day. I think it's number 50, is it not?
No, Jack Day,
I
number
thought it
80.
changed. Okay,
Yep.
Thank you. Jack Day still there. And that is 2 out, of course. Maeda Kazu was at first base. He'll be the first half of the double. And Ariyama the second half of the double play. So 2 out now. 2 up, 2 down for the Manly Eagles side. And top of the 8th inning. And stepping up is Gabriel Matto. Matto takes a strike on a curve ball from Chet Robinson. Curve or a change-up, Cam?
That was a curve, definitely a curve ball, that one, Harriet.
And Robinson coming in again now. Big swing from Matto. And Matto drop third strike. Loose there for the catcher. And he gets it up. Jake Phelps gets it up to Jack Day up the line. And that is the third out. And that's a 2-3 out. 3 out now. 3 up, 3 down for the Manly Eagles in the top of the 8th inning. They get turned around very, very quickly. They go back out onto the field. And the Central Coast Marlins will come out on the attack with the bats for the bottom of the 8th inning. Look out.
PMAC.
And welcome back to Blacktown International Sports Park. Bottom of the 8th inning, heading up here now with Masa Endo on the mound for Manly again. He returns and his catcher Ameda Kazu. Leading off for the Marlins, Tristan Watts, who came into pinch hit for Jack Stevenson a little earlier. And the count now 1 ball and 1 strike. The number 8, Tristan Watts, steps in again and rips one to the left-hand side. What I like about Endo is he doesn't muck around between pitches. He gets the ball back, stays on top of the hill and hurls it back again. He doesn't go for long walks, doesn't do a lot of thinking about it, just stands up there, gets the ball back and does the job of throwing. Here he goes now. Gets a nice pitch outside edge to strike out the lead-off Tristan Watts. A lovely pitch from Endo. Wow, big swinging strike. K2, he tried to hold it back but couldn't. 1 up or 1 down the Marlins. Bottom of the 8th inning, and that will take us to number 9 in the order, Mitchell Pearce. Pearce, the centre fielder for the Marlins this afternoon in this grand final championship game. And nicely located from Endo. Very quickly, the catcher looks back at the umpire and goes, what was wrong with that one?
Might have been a bit too high.
I'm thinking high. It's the only place it could have been. It was right across the middle of the plate. Ground ball straight up the first base line. Roberts will take this out himself. Stays down well on the ball, gets his leg down behind it, gets his glove behind it, keeps his head down, tracks the ball into the glove, steps up, steps on the bag to get that all-important out at first base. So put out at position 3 for Mitchell Pearce. Then the Coast go 2 up and 2 down.
This is exactly what Manly needed in the bottom of the 8th inning. They needed a quick 3 up, 3 down inning. They just needed to get in, get out, and have no further damage done on the scoreboard, get to that 9th inning with their 5-run lead intact. On the other hand, the Marlins just needed to chip away a run or 2, get back to that inside that 4-run sort of buffer, and really give themselves a chance to come home over the top of Manly. But, of course, Manly going to their what would be their one of their number 1 gun relievers in Masa Endo.
Absolutely.
And we're back to the top, Daniel Rogers. Let's see what Rogers can offer up. Endo missing inside and low.
I'll tell you what, if there were 3 runners on it and Daniel Rogers had to put one out of here, then he would have certainly been in line for MVP.
Yeah, okay.
There is still a call.
And gets a strike bottom of the zone. Endo. Big shout out to our fans in Tamworth who are supporting Brock Ridgewell, who is a Tamworth local.
There you go.
Well done. Good to see the Tamworth guys up there from the New England. He does rip one to centre left field side. That will get in the clear and go out very, very deep. That's Daniel Rogers. He gets good bat to ball. A stand-up double for Daniel Rogers. Stand-up double to what turned out to be centre field.
Yep.
Adam O'Neill retrieving that one and getting it back in. So the Central Coast Marlins haven't given up. They've got a runner in scoring position at second base. Yes, Brock Ridgewell was out there earlier today. He did a very good job on the mound coming in the top of the 4th inning. And the call here from our fans in Tamworth is they're tipping the Marlins to win in the 9th inning by 9 runs to 8. You heard it here first from Tamworth.
Well, there's another opportunity as this one tries to get through the gap. Zorn will have no play. It was almost in the 5-6 gap, and Zorn ranged well to his right, but has no throw as he slides across, picks it up now. Runners in the corners for the Marlins, 2 out.
And that was Chase Kahn with a single to position 6 at shortstop. And that moves Rogers into scoring position closer to home plate at third base. Runners on the corners with Kahn standing safely at first. A well-hit ball from Rogers got things going. Kahn has backed him up. Now we go to Jake Phelps. Phelps has had single to 7 in his last 2 appearances, and that's in the 6th inning and the 7th inning. Singles to the left side, even though he's a left-handed hitter. Hitting opposite field, Jake Phelps. So Marlins on the ascendancy here in the bottom of the 8th, the back end. Trying to narrow that gap from 5. Manly lead by 5. It is 8 runs to 3 on the Red Stitches scoreboard. Endo comes to the plate, out wide. Manly probably feeling a bit on tenterhooks as this gap gets a little narrower. There are 2 out, though, in the bottom of the 8th inning. Watts and Pearce were the first 2 batters up, both out. 2 runners on, though. And that does get ripped through to 7 again. It will be a single to the left field side, and 1 more run will score. That's Daniel Rogers crossing for a run. So all of a sudden, the gap reduces to 4 runs.
Which is 1 swing of the bat, should they get lucky.
Loaded bases, 1 swing of the bat ties it up. There is 1 runner on second base in the form of Chase Kahn. The other runner, Jake Phelps, stands at first after a single to 7. He's had 3 in a row after getting 2 walks at the start of the game. He's had walk, single to 7, single to 7, single to 7. There's a consistent batter for you. Dylan McMaster at the plate now. Right in the mood of the order, the 4th batter in the Marlins lineup, Dylan McMaster. Last at bat, hit by pitch ball.
Sorry, Harrow. Just watching the body language there of Massa, and he actually asked the plate umpire Jordan Taylor where that pitch was, because he thought for all money he had that in the zone, but it was showing as high.
Well, there we go. They're working hard, the Manly players. They've got to back up what Adam Brown did at the start of the game through the first 7 innings. So a 4-run lead, where Manly had an 8-run lead. Central Coast chasing down another 4. 2 runners on.
It's rapidly reducing, but they're hanging in there at the moment, Manly, but the Marlins finishing strongly.
Manly need another out here in the 8th innings to stop the scoring.
And a lot of chirp. So the dugout from the Marlins is well and truly lifted.
They're encouraged.
PMAC, if Massa misses with his next pitch and loads the bases, who'd have thought an hour ago or an hour and a half ago we'd have been saying the tying run comes to the plate at any given stage of this baseball game?
It wasn't going to happen.
8-0,
3
and
hours.
all Manly.
3 hours and 15 minutes.
This one gets lifted into deep left field corner. It will fall fair, but Ariyama is out there to make the catch and get the all-important 3rd out. What a great run from Shuey Ariyama. Sensational Shuey out there. Tracked it all the way. Didn't take his eyes off it once, and he didn't think about his own well-being. He headed straight for the fence, caught it well off the fence, but an excellent catch in what is bright sunshine in that corner as well. Ariyama, well done, young man. Getting a brilliant catch no matter which team it was or who it was for. That's a great catch in anybody's language in a baseball game. A high fly ball and another couple of metres, it could have well cleared the fence.
Just about to say, off the bat, there would have been a lot of nervous Manly fans around off the bat, because that was a big chance of diving into the corner, maybe even diving over the fence, which would have been a 3-run home run, which would have made it 8-7. Even if it gets down and gets on the ground, it was certainly going to be 2 runs, which was going to make it 8-6. But Ariyama just good enough to get on his bike early, chase it down, and get the catch in the corner.
And I was actually looking down at the Marlins dugout once that catch was actually taken, and there was quite a few heads that just sort of sunk. So it was almost as if it took all of the wind out of their sails, even though they still have another 3 outs to go. But, it was just one of those things another foot either side, and they've scored 2 runs.
Yep, a metre shorter, it scores a run. A metre longer, it might have been 3 runs.
Yep, but could have, should have, would have, didn't.
So on the Red Stitcher scoreboard, we're finished with 8. We are heading to the 9th, and it is Manly 8, Central Coast 4.
And welcome back to this grand final game as we go to the 9th inning. Top of the 9th inning here. Manly leading the Central Coast Marlins by 8 runs to 4. The screws have been tightened by the Marlins over the Manly Eagles. Leading off, the 9th batter in the lineup for Manly, Adam O'Neill, in this top of the 9th. And this could be a very dramatic finish across this game. Manly batting in the top, Marlins batting in the bottom of the inning. And both clubs going to their bullpen several times now already.
And Harrow, I can tell our listeners that the first grade game will not start at 5:30. It's 20 past 5 at the moment.
It will be a half an hour gap at least between the two.
Change of pitcher for Central Coast, number 37. We're just going to confirm that.
I think that's still Chet Robinson, isn't it?
Chet Robinson was number 44.
Was he? Oh, there you go.
Number 37 has come out of the bullpen for Central Coast for the 9th inning to close the game out. So 37, Adam O'Neill at the plate still. Count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2.
DH. The DH has come into pitch.
Well, there we
The
go.
pitcher just with a bit of sun in his eyes as well.
So there's Luke Kovac.
Yep.
And O'Neill goes down on strikes. Luke Kovac on the mound here, top of the 9th inning. Adam O'Neill down on strikes, Manly with a 1 out.
Manly would dearly love just one more run, just to give them that 5-run buffer heading in. So as we said, if there is loaded bases, a good swing of the bat doesn't tie things up.
Trent Nicol, designated hitter, swings at the first pitch, fouls it off down the third base side. So Trent Nicol, a very determined hitter. I was talking to him earlier in the game when I was setting up one of the cameras, and he was telling me how much he loves the game, how much he enjoys it. Kovac now. Lobs one nicely. Took a bit of pace off it, just lobbed it into the middle of the strike zone.
That was his breaking pitch, Harrow. Found it perfectly into the strike zone. Now let's see what he comes back with at 0-2 now.
Looked effortless. And hits Nicol. Hit by pitch ball, puts him on base.
That's a big mistake to make as a pitcher. You've got the batter 0-2. There's 1 out. You've got him in a lot of trouble. You can try a few things and then you plonk him with the next one.
Big shout out to Simon Crumbleholme communicating with us online. Good on you, Simon. Good communication in our online link. Tubby Taylor up there as well.
Jared Galante been driving the Marlins all day trying to get them home. Putting in his votes for Daniel Rogers for MVP.
He's up out of the saddle, is he? Got the whips cracking. Brad Zorn at the plate now, the shortstop for Manly. Takes a big swing at that last pitch. Catcher Phelps just putting it down.
Looking hard to make sure that Nicol didn't advance. Nicol runs well for the Manly side.
A lot of sunshine in the outfield there. The left fielder and the centre fielder, basically with a bit of sun in their eyes. The rest not too bad. Shortstop to some extent. Ground ball to shortstop. Will they turn the double? First half is assured. Second half not. Missed at first base.
Throw not great from the second baseman, pivoting around and making the throw. Rogers
so
throws it away.
Zorn will be on. Nicol is out at first on a 5-4 play. 5-4, is it not, Cam? I think
6-4.
6-4. Thank you. Shortstop to second base. Sorry. 6-4 for the second out in the game.
Now, does that get scored as an error, P-Mac, on the wild throw? It just goes as a fielder's choice? Okay. Yeah. Wasn't sure which one, if one took precedence over the other.
I educated Harrow the other day about fielder's choice.
I understand it's a fielder's choice because they went to second base in the first occasion, but the double play would have been made only for the wild throw.
Correct.
So the wild throw doesn't count.
So Aidan Torpey steps up to the plate now for Manly with 2 out here in the top of the 9th inning.
Because
Manly
it was first.
Manly looking for some insurance. Torpey, swing and a miss. He's had 2 swings. That'll be an 0-2 pitch count now. No balls, 2 strikes.
Simon says hello back to you, Harrow.
Good on you, Simon. What does Kovac do now? What sign does Jake Phelps put down?
The only thing he can't do is hit the batter again.
Can he do something unusual like try to throw into the strike zone with an 0-2 count?
I just go back to that curveball that he has thrown so well in this innings and just push it to the outside and low and see whether or not Torpy wants to go after it. Put a couple of them out there and then maybe a high fastball.
Manly a little on the back foot here, I'm afraid to say, in the top of the 9th inning. Fouls it off down the third base side.
Went for the fastball on that occasion. So it'll be very interesting to see. Now might be the time to go to the curve.
I do have a level of interest with the Manly side, of course, being a proud life member.
Only because one eye is maroon and the other is white.
They're both maroon with a tinge of white around the edge. Sometimes a bit of grey on top.
It looks a bit bloodshot at the moment.
Proud life member. Fouled off down the third base side again. Born at North Sydney, grew up in Manly Ringa. Can't help good luck. That one to home plate. Strikeout called now, and Aidan Torp gets rung up looking. A KC at a vital part of the game. And in the top of the 9th, Manly cannot add to their scoreboard and get any insurance.
Wow.
They remain on 8 runs.
Wow.
Hello, Tamworth. You got one half of the equation right. Manly remain on 8. 9th inning.
And welcome back to Blacktown International Sports Park. You're here with the Summer of Baseball, proudly brought to you by Sports Broadcasting Australia. Big Cam here in the middle, P. Mac on my left, Harrow on my right. We're bringing you the bottom of the 9th inning here in the second grade grand final. The Marlins, they need to find 5 runs, and there's not a great start. First pitch, it's grounded straight at the second baseman. Is he on the bag? Yes, he is. Big stretch from Ashley Roberts. Daniel Goodsell took a long time to get that ball in his hand. Then the throw wasn't fantastic. It made Roberts stretch, but a big out for Manly. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th.
Roberts wearing the size 12 shoes to stay on the bag there. He really pushed back to show the umpire that he stayed in touch with that base well and truly. Here's the next pitch from Endo to Jack Day.
Just a little bit low.
Endo not mucking around. He's going with the momentum of the out.
Joey Farrant, also on there. Great to hear you back on the mic, Harrow.
Farrant.
Farrant, is it?
Yeah, you got to get on the team bus, mate, apparently.
Joey Farrant. Yeah, I'm on. Where is it? Call it in.
Joey's bar is if they win tonight at Aquatic.
Joey, I live in Brisbane or Grafton or Gold Coast, somewhere up there. I'd love to make it.
Next pitch from Massa to come back. It gets past Massa. It'll be a tough play for Goodsell. He'll have no play. He'll just kick it down a little bit, and it will be a base hit for Jack Day. He will get aboard.
They hit to 4.
I think it'll end up 6 because Goodsell kicked it across the diamond to Brad Zorn.
Yep.
But either way, it was going to be a tough play. The only real play was going to be whether or not Massa Endo could get it as a comebacker, and he couldn't. So it was going to be an extremely tough play for Daniel Goodsell, and in the end, no play at all as he boots it across to Zorn.
1 on, 1 out.
Luke Kovacs.
No, well, that's 30. Luke Kovac, I think, was 37.
Okay,
this is
so
36, I think. 38, 36.
This will be another
36.
pinch hitter.
Kovac was the pitcher, though.
Yep, so this is Reece Hobson.
Reece Hodson.
Wow.
Hudson.
Yep, Hudson.
Hudson with a H.
So Reese Hudson in there now, taking his chances against Massa Ender. 4 runs the Marlins need to go to extras, 5 if they're going to win it here in the 9th. This one lofted up. Ryan Hudson, in fact.
Ryan is what, yep, the lineup does say Reese, but Chris, thanks for the input. Ryan Hudson is his name.
Yep, Ryan Hudson, just having a look at their stats there. It's had 4 at-bats in the season in second grade.
1 on, 1 out, bottom of the 9th inning. Dramatic finish here at Blacktown International Sports Park. Manly still have a buffer of 4 runs.
But they do have a runner on the Marlins. There is only 1 out. So chances are plenty. Hudson now sees it, swings it, lifts it into left field. It's tailing towards the beer garden. It will get out of play. Fouled into the beer garden area. And that will take the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner at first. 8-4, Manly lead the Marlins.
Defence for Manly, very enthusiastic. All of them running to the same place at the fence. Ariyama from left, Zorn from shortstop, Torpy from third base. They all had it covered.
Probably one of the toughest times to bat here at Blacktown International Sports Park is right now. You see the one little patch of sun sitting over home plate. The pitcher is completely in the shadow, so the ball is going from shadow to light for you to have to hit it. So you've got to pick it up. Then you've got to be able to see it all the way as it goes from darkness into light, and then be able to get on it and hit it. Endo inside with that pitch, 2-2. 2-2 pitch on its way, swung on and missed from Hudson. He will go down on strikes, and the Marlins are down to their last out.
Manly players in the dugout, all up on the fence. Gee, there's a lot in there.
They're ready to invade the pitch. They are. They're ready to come charging if they can get this last out.
I think they've brought the whole club.
Tristan Watts, it is at the plate now for the Marlins. Massa Endo trying to get things done for the Manly Eagles. Misses upstairs with that first pitch to Watts. Runner at first base is Jack Day. But there is now 2 outs for the Central Coast. Endo delivers. This one swung on, lifted up in the air. Is this it? Torpy goes after it from third base. He's got a read on it. He's got it in the mid. And Manly will be your second grade champions for season 2018-2019. They get the job done in the end, running out winners on the Red Stitches scoreboard by 8-4 over the Central Coast Marlins. A great win for the Manly Eagles, all set up with a massive 4th inning where they scored 7 runs and they held on. The Marlins gallant in defeat. They tried all the way to the end. They were coming hard, but they just couldn't get there. The post was too soon, and the Eagles will run out winners 8-4.
Yeah, what a big end to this game. Absolutely fantastic. Central Coast, though, they scored 4 runs off 9 hits. They left 13 runners stranded throughout the game. Most of them at the back end, of course, but 4 runs off 9 hits, 13 runners left on base for the Central Coast Marlins. And on the other side of the coin, it is the Manly Eagles. They got 8 runs off 9 hits, and they left 12 runners stranded on base. So 8 runs, 9 hits, and 12 runners left on base in what turned out to be an absolutely epic game, starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon, finishing at 5:30. So a big effort by both clubs there, and all teams, as you can see, congratulating each other at the end of the game over home plate. And a lot of these are all mates. They've all played, a lot of them have played representative baseball together at junior level. They've been great teammates, and they know each other well through representative baseball and just in the state league competition.
So Manly run out winners by 8-4 on the Red Stitches scoreboard. First grade will be in a roughly half an hour, so we're imagining it'll be about a 5:06 or a 10:06 first pitch for first grade. We will post it as soon as we have that information. However, we're going to take a little bit of a break, give ourselves a chance to have a drink and grab something to eat before that first grade game starts. So we'll wrap it up here with the second grade grand final, saying congratulations to the Manly Eagles, who run out winners of the second grade grand final by 8-4. We'll be back with first grade shortly.
See ya.